Hello, Cowboys Nation. Coming to you live from Tennessee, from the east to the west. We are talking Cowboys everything. And you just entered
the Cowboy Zone.
Hey, what up, everybody? This is the Bluff City Cowboy, Marcus Jones, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee.
And this is Lambo with Cowboys, y'all, from Johnson City, Tennessee.
All right, thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. We got a special episode of the Cowboy Zone. Tonight, we're going to talk about the offensive line, the big hogs up front. So we had to bring in an expert to talk about this with us. So I know you guys all know who we got at the bottom of the screen. So let's give it up for Mr. Boss Cowboy.
I like that, man. That was cool, man.
Hey, man, we appreciate you joining us.
Oh, yeah, let's go. Let's rock. Let's
All
talk.
right.
Boom!
Oh, I see you in there now.
Started. Everybody who's watching, make sure you share this. Share it to your personal page. Share it to your favorite page. Share it to your favorite group. We're about to go in depth in the offensive line talk. Going to give out some good information that everybody needs to know. So make sure you let them know it. And if you got any comments you want to make, be sure to throw them in the comment line, and we'll put them on the screen, and we'll answer your questions as many as we can. How you doing today, Brandon?
I'm doing pretty good. How y'all doing?
Man,
doing just
whew.
You know what I mean?
It's 2020.
What's up, Douglas? I see you. We got Jeffrey on my page. I see y'all, my boy. Not my boy. I better not say that. You know, Pastor Douglas. He says boss. And then I see LaDonna, my girl LaDonna. You know, I love you, LaDonna, but you gotta stop, man. You be giving it to us on Facebook, man. I be kind of like thinking you talking to me, you know. So anyway, that's just some people that I see on my page, man. I'm doing good, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Hey, and everybody keep putting the comments in. We'll get them on the screen once we get started. So, boss, I see you've been taking a little bit of a hiatus, so we're glad to have you on the show today.
Oh man, woo! Rested. Woo!
Yeah, you've been MIA, man.
Oh man, and so rested. I mean, it was necessary. You know, It was y'all. You know, I know y'all really kind of got your legs, and you really got the podcast and the vlogging going. You go see after by doing this about a year and a half or so, you go get to a point you go be like, I need to just kind of get away from it for a little while, and you come back. And then, you know, sometimes, you know, I noticed that sometimes it's good to go away because you come back a little sharper, fine-tuned, and kind of and just rested. So
come back.
That's me right now. But I'm getting ready to dive in. Let's go, man. Let's talk, man. Let's go.
All right. So tonight we've been covering all the different positions. This week we're doing offensive line. So basically what we got for you guys is Lambo and I made our own list separately, so they won't be the same this week.
Okay.
We're going to put them on the screen. We're going to list who we keep, who we let go, who's the starter, who's the backup, and then we'll go through each position one by one. And boss, you give us your comments on what we got and anything you want to talk about with these players.
All right, let's go.
All right, so the first position we're going to start with is center, and I think that's kind of the easiest one to me of all of them. So give me a second.
I don't know, man. The easiest one to me is right tackle.
Now, is it easy? I want to.
We'll find out. So, so right here at the center position, I think it's a two-man race between Joe Looney and Tyler Biadasz, or Tyler Badass, as everybody's calling them. For me, I just think because we got a new coaching staff, everybody's going to come in at the same level. And when you get started in camp, they're going to kind of try to plug Joe Looney in until Tyler can get caught up. And I just think with camp going on and camp being shortened because we don't know when it's going to start, it's gonna be kind of hard for Tyler to overcome him in a month to get that spot. So I think we start the season off. Joe Looney is the starter. Tyler is the backup. And let me pull up Brandon so we can compare it.
It's identical.
Oh, it's
Actually.
identical.
Yeah,
All right, well,
I think so.
okay. Well, I just keep it up for now until I can pull this thing back up. All right,
Yeah.
so Bob, what's your thoughts on the center position?
I mean, I might be biased because Tyler Biotis is my favorite pick in the draft. Even, yeah, like, he's right up there to me with CeeDee Lamb. And I did say that. I think both of these guys are gonna battle it out for steal of this draft. I honestly believe that. I'm high on him, extremely high on him, and because I would never see Joe Looney. Never see. He was that good as a starter when he played for us. I wouldn't unseat him, but for this guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because he is the most underrated, in my opinion. Because he was the only person in Washington history to win a Remington Award. So a lot of people like to say, and that's the top center award. He's the only one in their history. And think about the history of Wisconsin running game. You know what I mean? So
that's O-line
and that's O-line U. Perfectly said, in my opinion. And to me, he was clearly ascending. And then he hit what I would call scouting him last year bad luck. Because the timing of everything that happened to me affected him. Right. So when you look at the surgery he had on his hip, then he had cleanup surgery on his AC joint going into the draft process. And it's a year of COVID when COVID just hit. So you couldn't really fly him out to your facilities. You couldn't really fly to see him. You couldn't do the final checks. And Todd McShay the year before had on him a mid first round grade.
Right. I remember that.
So it's funny that you start with center, because that's not the easy one to me. That's the hard one,
That's
because
hard
you
one to
got
me
a
too,
solid starter. You got a solid starter, in my opinion, in Joe Looney. And you got a super steal with Tyler.
Yeah.
And Tyler, I really honestly feel like this. People might call me crazy, but I honestly feel like Tyler is going to be the next Fredericks.
There's a good possibility. I hope you're right. I'm optimistic about him myself. For real.
Yeah, his tape says it, because what I saw, especially in his senior year playing with the injuries he was playing through, I saw consistent push and great push. Like, it wasn't stalemates with this guy. He pushing you 3 and 4 yards downfield. He's a corn boy. I call him a country boy. You know what I mean? He's raised. Hey, Mom, do I need to go get the hay out the barn? Yeah, baby. Yeah, just
on my back.
Yeah, he worked 2 acres of land. That was, and I was listening to Shannon Sharp. Shannon Sharp say, man, nothing, tour days, professional workouts, college workouts, nothing is harder than farm work.
Definitely.
And so this is what I would want the Cowboys to do. What's up, Mike? My boy Mike said, what's up, boss Cowboy, and what's up, Cowboys on. So I would want the Cowboys to start Joe Looney just to get Tyler way past that surgery. I want him all the way ready, even though it was cleanup surgery. I think he go be so good. I think he's the type of guy that I would want to sit a little while just to make sure that when you break him out,
Right.
That is nothing wrong with him. You know what I mean? Because I think he's going to stay there and he's going to be our center for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
15.
I was watching that night at the draft with you when you were going through that. I almost went and got the video clip, but I didn't want to bust you out like that.
You should have. Yeah, I lost it.
Yeah,
I lost it on that pick. That
was
so
funny.
yeah, but that's why I started off being honest and saying I'm likely biased because we know all going through this draft process together that sometimes there are certain picks that you over believe in because you're almost believing in your own judgment. So I'm also reserving myself to be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think this guy's gonna come in and he's gonna be such a steal. I think he's gonna be. It's gonna sound bad, but it's gonna be really quick, almost like Frederick Who, which is also stupid. Like, please don't do that, because I think Frederick is coming back. I'm also saying that too.
Wow,
I need 6 months to determine that because the thing about offensive linemen are when they sit out, they lose weight fast. So if I see Frederick in November and he's still about 320. That tells me he's still working out. He's still being active. He's ready. He's keeping his strength. But if I see him and he comes back like Kyle Turley did, I don't know if you remember Kyle Turley from the Saints when he had to come back and tried to play tight end. If I see him down to 250, I'm gonna say it's over. So I got to see what he looks like in 6 months in terms of his weight. But he's definitely gonna be hanging around the locker room. You got your Wisconsin kid.
Yeah,
always gonna mentor him.
Right. I mean, excellent point, and I think that's well said. I just don't think this is a real retirement. I think he wanted to come from under the pressure of having to play. I think he wanted to get himself together on his own because Jerry and Steven and the Cowboys and everybody was going to continue to pressure him to be out there. And, I stole this from West Coast because he researched this. I always talk about this, that the average time to come back from that disease is about 2 years. When you look at all the people that had it and what they said it took about 2 years to start feeling like yourself. Well, this is not even a full 2 years. It's not, and I think you're right. I think he's going to be around the guys. I think he's going to be missing it. I think he's going to be working out with them, but I think it's going to be his way of testing himself. Right. And I think he's going to kind of get through this season. And when he starts feeling his strength come back, which I really think is going to happen after 2 years, I think he going to start feeling like himself. And when he feeling like himself, he going to say, I want to come back. I don't think it's going to be in 2020. I think we go get through this one. Yeah. But I think it's going to be kind of like one of those Witten ones, one of them off seasons. What? I was about
to say that. Right.
Yeah, definitely. Brandon, you got anything you want to add with Sanders?
I was about to say something, then I started reading in here and lost my track of my mind. The crazy thing was Travis Frederick. He acted almost disappointed in himself a little bit, like he wasn't playing to his standards, which is the crazy part because he still was amazing last year, and he wasn't feeling like himself. Like he was like talking about how he didn't play up to basically his potential. And I'm thinking like, what? He looked like a top 5 center to me last year still. Like the top 7 somewhere.
I could see where he lost some push. I could see it. He wasn't the dominant Frederick that he was. He was almost slightly under, in my opinion, Looney. I think he was like a right there under Looney, but still good. He still was
the brilliance in his mind for all the
and I think you hit on a good point, Brandon. I think he's the type of guy that takes a lot of pride in being the best. Yeah. And some people are like, you know what? If I'm not going to be what I know I can be, I don't want to be out here. You know what I mean? I want to get myself together. That's an excellent point.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's move on to the guard position. This is the first spot where Lambo and I have a difference of opinion. So, Lambo, I'll let you talk about yours first since I went first last time.
Now I will say this is completely depending on Connor Williams' health. So I don't honestly, me personally, I'm not a huge Connor Williams fan. I don't think he's that good. And I really want to see Connor McGovern take that spot and run with it. But like you said, everything getting pushed back, not getting a lot of time in with the team, things like that. I think as long as Connor Williams is 100% healthy and is ready to go, then I think Connor Williams, just because he's had more experience with the team and everybody, I think they would start the season with him, to start out. But I do think he would eventually lose his job to McGovern. But if you was asking me if healthy and starting the season week 1, I think Connor Williams would start the season. And obviously Zach Martin, he's locked in for life at right guard. So yeah, so I got Connor Williams if healthy starting the season. But I think McGovern will take over.
Okay.
Halfway through the season.
So I went different
my
right
boy
here.
said for life. My boy
life.
said for it did say it like it was serious. Like
if he break his leg, he's still starting. No,
oh my God, man.
I'm just playing. No, I don't even want to say that. Never mind. Forget I said that. Forget I said that.
Yes, I did.
If something happens to him, everybody's gonna
went here and out.
So I went a little bit different at guard. I got Connor McGovern as a starter. I just feel like they drafted him last year to get that spot. He's had an off season. He's got that strength and that size that we like at guard. And I just think he's better suited for the position than Connor Williams. Of course, Zach Martin's the start on the other side. And right here, I went different. I got Cam Irvin as the backup. Now, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about Cam Irvin was brought in to be our swing tackle. And when I go back and look at his history of play, he played a whole lot more guard than tackle. Last year, he played 8 games at tackle because Eric Fisher got hurt. But if you go back to the year before, he started the whole season at guard. You go back the year before that, he started half the season at guard. You go back to Cleveland, he started at center and guard. So I think people are just putting him at tackle because it's kind of like a what have you done for me lately type thing. But I think he's a better guard than tackle. And the few times I've seen him play, because I tried to watch him a little bit, he's a lunger. And I don't want to lunge.
Yeah, you boy. You've been watching. Bam!
Yeah, he lunges at ends and his hands aren't up.
Yeah, and his whiffs looks like
it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's almost like you got a cringe.
Yeah, he'll give you a couple of cringe, like
a couple Olay shots, but yeah, it's almost
like
Olays,
man, you call it.
I ain't trying to see no more Claibornes and no more 6 sack games.
Yeah,
you have Smith go down. I know that much.
But yeah, don't watch a few of Cam Irvin's games last year because you would have been afraid for Mahomes.
Now, Marcus, I do have him as the backup swing tackle. But I will say, if I'm going off what I want, I'm with you. Definitely at guard. I'd rather have him as a backup guard. I don't want him at tackle. Yeah. But for some reason, I have the feeling the team's going to put him at tackle. I hope that's not true. I hope what you're saying is completely right because I would rather keep him at guard. I think you're completely on point with that. He's not a good tackle.
All right, boss. What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts about Cam first? Because I'm interested in what you got to say about.
Man, you go take me all the way to Cam, bro.
No, go back to Connor Williams.
No, I can take Cam first, and then I can go Cam to guard to Cam. Well, Cam is a classic Marshalls, and anybody that's been reading my articles, I'm really big on Marshalls, and I really believe the Cowboys are now. If to define a Marshalls pick is somebody that was a former great that for whatever reason either are not playing what they was expected to play or just didn't work out for just various reasons. Sometimes it's injury, sometimes it's age. You can be a Marshalls where you was formerly great, but you're older. Mm-hmm. That's a Marshalls pick. So his previous grade coming out of college, he was a first round in the 2015 draft. And when you look in my
at center.
Yeah, but still a Marshalls grade, or pick in terms of how he was.
Gotcha.
When you're a first rounder, a lot of people basically stamped you. And I'm not saying that he's worthy of it. I'm not saying that he didn't have the Olay plays. I think you hit that right on, from real film. But I always like Marshalls in Dallas because I think certain teams bring out the form of greatness in players. And I think, and I call it a Dallas bump. So if you look at our history of Marshalls, right? So like even Cooper, both Coopers, you remember the guard that was a Cooper?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ended up
played good for us.
Former first round pick in Arizona.
Yeah, he played good for us. And then we obviously know the receiver Cooper. He was also a rebound because people forget that he was looking like he was declining with the Raiders. Matter of fact, he was the number 2 with the Raiders, and Cook, an older Cook, was the number 1 at tight end. I mean, and then obviously we know about the DN that we got last year. Quinn was a super Marshalls, right? Former great, looking like he was starting to tail off, and then he got with Dallas, and he spiked.
Yeah.
And so we also had Cobb, who was a Marshalls, former great, and then Jonathan Cooper. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Londo McClain.
McClain. So it's a spike that seems to happen when people that had, people that had former greatness, then they getting washed around the league. They come to places like Dallas and they spike. The same thing happened to the safety that went to Pittsburgh from Miami, right?
Oh yeah, Fitzpatrick, Minka.
Yeah, Minka. Yeah. So Minka was looking like he was at Miami, right? But nobody could doubt that he was a true top 5 coming out of Bama. It was clear, right?
Oh, definitely.
Then he goes to Pitt, and what happened? Defensive player of the year type of performances. So I'm extremely high on Cameron because of the history of Marshall's picks coming to Dallas. I do love him at swing, and I love that he has the option to play guard, because I think both of y'all are, to me, hitting it right on. I think left guard is the biggest liability. What's up, Jeffrey? I think left guard is the biggest liability by far, and it's the scariest position. But I also think we got the most insurance there as well.
Yeah,
the most insurance. So out of the starters, I would just want it to play out, because you got a couple of scenarios that I think could happen. So in my opinion, when they moved Leo Collins to tackle, remember he wasn't swimming correctly his first time. He struggled some. Now he had good games, but he struggled some. The dominance finally came from letting him sit there a minute, and then he became where he's currently ranked by CBS a top 10 tackle. I think we need to see Connor Williams one more time. I think he deserves it going into year 3, because he has the size. I mean, if you look at his size and you look at his former tape, I mean, Connor Williams, 6'5", 320. Yeah, he's a great athlete. I never bought into, what's up, Daisy? I never bought into him at tackle. Never. I never bought into it. Arms too short. And they tried him there, and you could tell he didn't do good, because when they would try him there, they would ask him about it. The media would ask about it, and Jason Gary would be like, because when you're looking good, they don't mind saying that, right?
Right.
It's so I'm not high on Connor McGovern because I never loved his pit tape. Never. I think he has mud feet. Now the advantage, and what I mean is his feet get stuck in the ground. He doesn't have good agility, and he missed blocks a lot of times, even when he tried to get to the second level, because he can't adjust well to me. The advantage to him, in my opinion, is the fact that he had a full offseason around greatness, right? So you don't have the wear and tear, but you also have the privilege of just eating and sleeping around greatness. Like literally, you watching Zach Martin and you seeing all his habits up close, like studying him like he's Jesus. Like I see everything that he's doing, right? And then you also see him with a top 3 tackle in Tyron Smith, and you watching Liel. So when you get a chance to be McGovern without the wear and tear, but you get all the benefit of the weight room, the habits, the diet, the no off season, right? The no training for a draft, all the BS that'll get a lineman not prepared for football because they trying to run forward. No, I need you to I need your agility right. I need you to be able to push I can't really stamp either one. I think that's gonna just have to play out.
All right. Let me ask you a question then, boss. Because you talk kind of highly about Cam Irvin and the whole Marshall thing. Do you think he can legitimately compete for that starting left guard spot because he's played there before? Like,
Hell yes.
We both kind of been discounting him and putting the corners over him, but you think he can really get that guard spot and come in and be effective?
Hell, I don't want to curse again. I only curse once on the show.
Do what you do.
Hell ain't too bad.
This prime time.
Absolutely yes.
Okay.
Absolutely yes. And I would want them to try, but the only thing is, for insurance purposes, I feel like it's so much flexibility to where I think left guard is gonna fix itself. Because if we play with all the scenarios that we already started with center, right? Looney is a starting grade center.
Yes.
It just so happened that you was behind the greatest. You know what I mean? Like, what you gonna do? You behind Fredericks. I'm sorry, you will start a grade, but you're not Fredericks when he's healthy. When Fredericks is healthy, I'm sorry, Looney, you gotta sit your butt down. But what you gonna do with him if Tyler step in? Right. That's still a starter grade guy.
Yeah,
he can play the guard too.
Yeah,
it's gonna work itself out. Like, even if it's bumpy, I just think it's gonna work itself out. And I like the depth that we have there with a emerging Connor Williams, with a waiting in the wings, and a guy that just watched a lot of great habits in McGovern. Right. And then you have somebody with great experience in Irvin as well as Looney.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and the reason why I would want, just me, Cameron Irving to just stay his butt at tackle, because we can put on a clock that Tyron Smith is gonna miss 4 games. It's not a if, it's a win, right? Yeah. That's pretty much historically what's gonna happen. And I don't want the Olays. If you moving them around from guard to tackle because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think guard go work itself out, so just let the youngsters fight it out, right? I think you gotta have solid insurance at the tackle, so let Cam or let Irvin get all the reps to be prepared for tackle, so we go decrease the chances of Olay. You know, and when I say Olay, I'm taking that from Marcus saying whiffing on blocks, messing up on blocks. That's the Olay, you know, and all that reaching and stuff. Nah, the more he's working out at tackle, the less chances that's gonna happen, you know. Right. So in my opinion, if it was me, I would more so say, man, guard is going to absolutely work itself out. We got too much youth. You got Williams as a pick 50. You got McGovern as a pick 90. You got Looney as a person that played all the guards that's going to likely go once Tyler step up. Yeah, but you also know at the same time, you know that Tyron Smith is going to miss him 2 to 4 games. So I say work them out at all the tackle reps, and because that's gonna give us the best chances of winning games.
All right.
I agree. And speaking of Tyron, are y'all hearing the echo? Hold up.
No, you sound good to me.
Okay. I'm hearing everything double on my headset. So if it's weird, like every time I talk, it speaks back to me, so it's throwing me off. All right, it's gone now. All right, so
just throw your mic. Just throw your mic.
The versatility with the offensive line right now has me so excited, man. Because look at how many guys on the offensive line can play multiple positions. Right. And they're like, it's gonna work itself out. They're gonna get it figured out. There's so many guys that could play guard and center or guard and tackle. And touching with the point when you said, you know, Tyron Smith's probably going to miss a few games. Unfortunately, sad truth.
Yep.
I'll go ahead and address the rumors, because I'm going to go ahead and say it's a hard no for me. You heard the rumors.
Yes, I heard it.
Adams. I'm going to go ahead and say no. You can keep Adams. I ain't giving you Lyle Collins.
No.
Especially with Tyron Smith's history, and we already know he's probably going to miss some games. We need at least one of them tackles solidified. I ain't doing it. I love Adams. I want him on the team, but
I love him. That costs too much.
Yeah, the cap hit alone would kill it. We don't even have enough cap space to make that move if we did it, which I wouldn't do anyway.
Yeah.
On that rumor, I'm thinking about Dak, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, a lot of people, I don't know what they was watching, but they say for some reason, I don't know how they see this, but I did not see this. They say when Brandon Knight came in, he was serviceable. I said, what the hell was y'all looking at? Because what I saw was when Brandon Knight was playing in the Jets game, Dak was getting dunked. Matter of fact, Cooper Rush started warming up in the second quarter. You know what I mean? Like, ooh, I'm finna play. When your second string quarterback start warming up, like, ooh,
Right.
ooh. No, like absolutely not. It's just, and then when I say I'm thinking about Dak, I figured out that when Dak has clean pockets, he is literally the second best quarterback in the NFL in passing rating. He's even higher than Mahomes.
Talk about it.
Boss, don't confuse
People don't know that. Like when he has clean pockets, Dak can throw like anybody. You know, now if he have to improvise, and then I don't think he's the best maneuverer guy in the pocket. I think that's one part of his weakness in his game is he doesn't feel pressure like Watson or like Aaron Rodgers or like Romo. That those guys are magical when it comes to feeling pressure and knowing how to, you know, create time for your receivers to get open. So to me, you can't do that because you gotta protect Dak, because that's your best chance of winning games is clean pockets, because Dak is go ice you. If he protected, Dak is go spread that thing out, man, and everybody go have fun. So no.
And I came across some stats on PFF. The Cowboys offensive line responsible for 8 sacks last season, the fewest in the league among sacks that the offensive line themselves was responsible for. So that sounds great, but then you start to see how important Dak really is to the team, because it turns out he was the 4th most hit quarterback, even though they had their offensive line allowed the fewest sacks that were their fault in the league. Dak was still the 4th most hit quarterback, but only the 27th most sacks. So that's telling me he's helping that O-line out a little bit more than he gets credit for too. The man, you don't go down easy.
No, he doesn't.
Just giving Dak some love, man, to all those that still don't want to see the man get paid.
Yeah. Y'all confusing people.
I'm just ready. I'm just ready for the deal. I just want the deal done, man.
You know, people don't want to hear that. With my eyes, I don't see. You know that. All that.
It's a pro Dak show.
Eye test.
Right.
Eye test.
I was gonna say that.
I heard the stats, but the eye test.
Hey, look, I seen the game with my own eyes. He just ain't got it, man.
Yeah. Exactly. That's how they seeing it too, boss.
Straight blind.
Right. Hey, before we move on to Taco Talk, boss, you kind of brought this up, and Jeff put it in the comments. Since we know we got pretty much our center of the future in Tyler, what do you think about putting Looney in that guard competition? Because you got a guy like McGovern who can kind of back up both spots and let him compete with the Connor Williams at least for a year. Because I got some thoughts on Connor Williams. I'll talk about that later. But what do you think about Looney at that guard spot?
Me?
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about letting Looney be that guard?
I thought you were talking to Brandon.
About this, but
I love it. Because Looney is a solid starter, man.
I agree.
He's a solid, and he has the best splash plays on the team.
For sure.
The best splash. And I'm saying splash. I'm not saying he's the best lineman, but you get guys that make those splash plays, like knock you out type plays. That's Looney. He's solid. Like, you know, if you look when Zeke was on screens, just follow Looney and you'll see why Zeke broke. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like when it comes down to being very athletic and getting downfield and really splashing and exploding on guys, that's Looney all day. Like, yes, I mean, and he has good quickness. I mean, he loves the game. He's a super teddy bear off the field and a fun-loving guy, but he's a mean asshole when he playing. Right. Just watch him. Just watch him. When I say splash, he wiping out guys. You know what I mean? He has the best wipeout players. Before him, Liel used to do that when he was at guard. Liel used to be the best. I come up with these little crazy slogans, man. Splash. I mean, that's Looney. So yes, he could compete.
Yeah.
And I think the best thing about this coaching staff is my gut, and y'all tell me if y'all think I'm tripping. I think it's going to be less politics with this coaching staff. I think this coaching staff is going to be best man win for real. Like, so if Looney is the best guy, I just have a feeling McCarthy strikes me as that guy. I except for the 7th round pick, I think that was kind of a little bit of hometown love. I'm not gonna lie about that one.
I was thinking that too. His son played ball with them, right?
That's some hometown.
Got a nice release, but we could have got him undrafted.
Yeah, we passed up on some solid tight ends on round 7.
I wanted Moss. I wanted.
Yeah, I wanted Moss, and I wanted the other tight end from LSU, Sullivan. But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think Sullivan would have fit like a glove in the West Coast, like all day, like 6'6", athletic, can stretch the field, ran a 4.6, real good combine, was a former starter at LSU before they won. That's another subject. Yeah. But anyway, going back to
we could touch on tight end too if you want to.
And I'm ready to talk about tight end. Tight end is to me one of the biggest issues on our team. But we might get to that, but. Now Looney, I hope that's why I say it's as fast as possible. I would want Tyler to go ahead and go and get it, so that and I hope that the surgery was super clean up to where he can just really be at his best to compete now. Because I just have a feeling, man, it's my gut feeling, as well as me really watching and studying Tyler. I think Tyler's gonna be just dominant at center. I think it's gonna be like domination at that position, and it's gonna free up Looney to play that guard but like left guard and I'm glad we're focusing on that because it don't matter that T. Smith is a top 3 tackle. It doesn't matter that La'el Collins is a top 10 tackle. It does not matter that Zach Martin was graded the 54th best player in the whole NFL. The offensive line is the craziest group because if one of them bad, all of them bad. It's the you can have one trash receiver and still put up 40 points. You can have one bad running back and still dominate the running game. You can have one bad DB and you might not even know he really getting torched out there, but you cannot have one bad lineman. We just period, because everybody was doing a job in 2017 versus Atlanta, except Chaz Green.
Oh, I don't hear that name.
And why you have to go back?
And I'm a Gator fan
because I'm painting the point. You know what I mean? I'm painting the point that left guard is risky and it has to be fixed, or all this greatness on our line don't mean nothing. You know what I mean? It don't mean nothing. But I think it's gonna work itself out.
Yeah. Now you talked about just Joe Looney and his aggressiveness. One thing I like about Cam Irvin, especially at that guard spot, he goes to what you say the echo of the whistle. When he gets his hands on somebody, you go into the ground one way or the other. That's one thing I like about him inside. I don't know if you watched him play, but
no, I mean he's Florida State guy, man. I'm gonna say it like this because I don't want to say it politically correct. My boy from the hood, man. You know what I mean? So you got 2 types of players. I call them the Penn State guys, and you got the Miami guys. Both of them are, the U. It was guys I used to play with. I used to call them white gangsters. You know what I mean? Because you'll think, he white, he gonna be soft. No. It's some of the white guys I played with. I'd be like, I would get in a trench with them guys any day when it came to, you know what I mean? So you got 2 types of mentality. He's that Miami type, finish you through the whistle, and I think Dallas go take Irvin to another level. I really do.
I can see that too. All right, so let's move on to tackle.
Yeah, let's talk tackle.
All right, so I'll go first. So at tackle, of course, we got 2 starters. I got Brandon Knight at the backup. I know we got a lot of tackles. I think somebody brought up we got the kid from Mexico, and then we got Terrence Steele, the undrafted free agent,
who I love.
Are you like Terrence Steele?
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it. because I want to. This is why I like having you on, because you're gonna change my opinion on what I think about Terrence Steele.
Maybe, because he got some holes in his game.
Okay, maybe it's the games I saw the holes.
Yeah, no, you saw some bad games, and I can tell you what you saw: the Senior Bowl when the knock killed him. Did I call it?
You called.
Did I call it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, a knock killed him, but we'll talk about that. I still love him though.
All right, so I got Brandon Knight as the backup. Now,
all right,
we got Cam Irvin. I could put him as the backup here too, but I just put Cam Irvin. I like him more at guard than tackle. That's just me.
Yep.
Offensive line, we're limited on how many we can keep because we got so much talent and we got so many different things on the defensive side that we haven't even gotten into. We got to go long at a couple spots on defense. So I think offensive line is going to be that one spot. We kind of go one player short than we should. So I feel like we're going to let Brandon Knight hold the backup spot. We got Cam Irvin. If we need to put him in, we could put him in. I think Brandon Knight is a better right tackle than left tackle. I'd be afraid to kind of watch him at left tackle extended periods of time. But I think as of right now, he's kind of penciled in as the backup. And I still don't have Connor Williams up here yet, and I'll get to that soon. And
man, you gonna kill my boy Connor, man. I already see it. How many times you gonna tell me you gonna shoot my man? Now go ahead, though.
All right, Lambo. Let's talk about who you got at tackle.
Tyron Smith's a given. Lau Collins is a given. And I had Cam Irvin as a swing tackle. Like I said, I'm not very confident in him that he's not gonna give us a Chaz Green type game if he has to come in. But I do think he will be the guy that can possibly, like you said, get that Dallas bump, rebound in his career, and provide us some solid depth there at the backup position. So I see him being the swing tackle. Brandon Knight, I kind of had him penciled in as the ninth guy to make the team on the O-line. Not crazy about Knight, but I think he makes that last spot.
All right, boss. What you got for us on tackle? Are you kicking Brandon Knight out and putting Terrence Steele right here?
I'm okay with that.
Possibility, yes. Because I think the upside is better for Terrence than it is for Brandon Knight. See, Brandon Knight is a tryhard, you know. Brandon Knight is a guy that you love because he go play through the whistle. He will get his ass kicked, but he'll get his ass kicked biting at your ankles. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He's the type of guy that you love because he's gonna fight and 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 fight. That's Brandon Knight, you know. Like even though he was getting dogged with the Jets, he was fighting. You know, I couldn't deny his effort. His effort was amazing. And when you are under, it's some guys that when they come in camp, you love them. You know what I mean? We all play ball. It's that little guy that he little, but he be like, damn, if he was just average size, he would make it. You know what I mean? Right. That's how Brandon Knight is. You know what I mean? He's that guy that coaches look at and say, man, we just go put him on the roster anyway, because that I go to war with that guy. That's Brandon Knight. But when you look at Steele up into the Senior Bowl, I had him as a super sleeper in the Boss Cowboy offseason guide. I studied a lot of tape on him, and he was a great finisher. He has all the raw traits that you want to see in tackle, the size, long arms, right? Very long arms. He's a finisher, and if he can dominate you, he will. And I looked at tape on him all the way back to high school. He's a bully ass dude. Like he will bully you. So you got the scrapper, the try hard versus the guy that could potentially develop into a starter. Steele. What really hurt Steele was a nah. A nah hurt Steele bad. You know, and yeah, a nah got paid on Steele in the Senior Bowl. But you also dealing with that it's a nah. Like when a nah that makes me nah has the most mature pass rush moves in the entire draft. Period.
Yeah.
Like I would say Anah is the Chase of defensive end, right? So Chase basically hurt all the corners stock from LSU.
Oh my God. I've been using that
It's
one.
true though.
You can't
It's
judge
true though. He hurt your stock. So he hurt everybody's stock so bad that you really had to say, in my opinion, well, if Chase just dominating you, maybe, maybe they real good. It's just that he elite, right?
Right.
Because I was watching a lot of tackle tape, and I kept seeing I would always take a stroke off when they play Utah. I'd be like, damn, he got done. Damn, and I started noticing a trend. I say, now who is that? Right? This is around November, right? When I was writing the book. I said, who is that? It was Anah, right? So the fact that Anah killed Steele to me don't really just break my heart on Steele's potential, because you're dealing with a guy who's an expert setup artist. Like he has tankish moves for college. You know what I mean? So the person that will be the odd man out to me would sadly be the tryhard guy, Brandon. And I would feel a lot more comfortable if Steele was able to sit a year and be on the roster, right? Travel, be with the guys, work out with the guys,
learn,
but be the future swing tackle over Brandon, because Brandon is going to likely hit a second year bump like most players do. But his upside to me is not the upside of Terrence Steele, But so I started at the bottom because the starters is kind of solid. You got Leah Collins at tackle, top 10, and really he was snubbed. He should have made all awards. He should have got all the top tackle awards, man. The only reason he didn't is because at this point, greatness is stamped on the other linemen with the Cowboys, to where it was like, damn, we can't give it to everybody.
Yeah, they feel like they can't just keep giving it to more guys on the team.
Yeah, but Liel was clearly the best offensive lineman on the entire team the whole year. Last year, he was better than Zach Martin. He was better than Fredericks. He was better than Tyrone Smith, T. Smith. He was better than everybody. He was the most consistent, and he had some very hard matchups. And he only missed one game. So tackle is solid, but so it's more so what are we gonna do about the swing, because it's one stat that's exponentially important to me. When we had Chaz Green, I was saying that off season, I don't care what we do in the draft, I don't care what we doing off season, we better get a quality swing or we in trouble, right? Because Dak passing rating was 66 or some crazy bad number when Tyron Smith didn't play in 2017. That's what really killed the 2017 season. Everybody like to say it was Zeke. No, it was Bell and it was Chaz Green protecting his blind side. That's what killed the season, because Dak went from having 4 seconds to 2 seconds to throw the ball. And he was just a totally different quarterback under pressure, Yeah. So we did something with Cameron Fleming, and Dak passing rating when Fleming had to play in replacement of Tyron Smith was still 120. So Dak was still playing good football even when Tyron Smith was out. So you gotta have quality insurance at the tackle positions, on actually both tackle positions, because like I say, tackle is about Dak. If you want to win, and if you want points, and you want Dak to be able to sit back and distribute like Dak does, Dak is probably the best distributor in the game. Dak is go find the open guy. But you got to give him clean pockets. If you give Dak clean pockets, Dak will take you all the way to a Super Bowl.
I don't want to get too much in the Dak talk, but one thing I hate about fans, when you hear people talk about Dak distributing the ball, you hear them call it Dink and Dak.
And it's not true.
But Tom Brady made it over doing the exact same thing, and they crowned him as the
greatest. That's what Breeze does. That's what Brady does. Both of them, man. Lots of bad things. Dak's always he's among top 5 always in his deep ball.
Go ahead, ball.
I just think it's levels. I think it's levels of understanding the game, and you got people who all just on different levels. Like it doesn't matter if you even played the game. If you love the game and you studied the game, you don't really care how we win. I don't care if we either dink and dunk or air it out. I take a boring win all day over exciting ass loss. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and I'm the person that I'm gonna just be upfront and say I want boring Dak back. I don't care about Dak slinging balls downfield. I can give one damn about that. I like conservative ass Dak because conservative ass Dak won 13 games.
Yeah, give me that. Give me a 15 for 20 in a game. I'm good with
that.
Yeah,
I mean, I take 201 yards, 200-yard game. Yeah, I take. I don't need 400. I need to win. And I like. In Dallas, the formula for 2014 and 2016 was pretty damn simple. We go control the clock. We go bully y'all ass. We go have long drives. Let's go keep this weak ass defense rested. So when they get out there, they still playing like it's the first quarter, and they go make stuff happen because of that. That was the formula of winning 12 games and 13 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Period. You see what I'm saying? When we speed the game up by throwing it downfield a lot and having these fast drives, you also putting that average ass defense on the field. I'm not saying this year's defense is average because I think they upgraded it a lot, but I'm talking about the 2016 and 2014 obvious average ass defense. So like to me, the style of Dak, you know, with everybody call he doesn't throw downfield, he's a dink and dunk. I gives not one damn. You know, I don't care. Like I don't care if Dak is safe. Just move the chains. I don't care. I don't care if, and he came out and he proved everybody wrong because they was already wrong, because even the first 4 years in deep ball accuracy, he's always been top four. Always. Yes. He just started throwing it downfield more in 2019. But like, look, either you somebody that like, I call it sugar ball. You know what I mean? Like it's sugar ball where you like to get excited. You like to rush up downfield. You see, you like football like that. I just like a win. Yeah. You know, and to your point, Brady with that old boring dink and dunk, winning.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just what it is. So like, and I see you, Brandon, because I see you fight a lot on Facebook.
About that.
All day. And it's like, I try not to because I used to fight a lot, but sometimes you get drawn in.
Yeah.
You get drawn in because of the passion that we have for the truth, and then we want to win. And honestly, I'm frankly tired of all the hate that we have on our own quarterback. It's the dumbest thing in the world.
It is. And I thought it was dumb. I thought it was dumb with Romo. I think it's dumb with Dak. Like if it was Matt Castle or something, I'll let you clown him all day. But but yeah, man, like people just find a reason to hate the guy that is not justified at all, man. Not at all.
Yeah. Right. I think a lot of it stems from Romo. I think a lot of it also.
It really is.
I think it stems from people that don't know the game, and some of it is racism. Very minimum though. It's not that much of that, but some of it is. Most of it, I think, is behind Romo, because some people sincerely feel that we had a chance in 2016 and that Dak's success got in the way, and they sincerely feel that way. Yeah. But it's woulda, coulda, shoulda offense. Yeah. You mad over woulda, coulda, shoulda, but none of those, in my opinion, none of those optimistic thinking and thoughts actually matches Romo's record. You know what I mean? When Romo was in do-or-die games, he was bad, you know, but Romo during the season was really good, especially when the games didn't really matter, you know? So to just think because 2016 was magical that he was supposed to take back over and lead us to the promised land, that wasn't necessarily going to happen. Because think about it, like,
we thought that every year. We always thought that was going to happen.
We thought that every year. 2015, he came back. He was magical against Miami. The very next week, he came out against Carolina in the first quarter and threw 2 interceptions. They both was instant touchdowns, and the game was over on Thanksgiving. Ruined my Thanksgiving, you know. So and I'm not saying Romo's a bad quarterback, but the type of people that still mad at Dak is a lot of times harboring offense, because they never really felt like Romo got a fair shake. And instead of being mad at the people who made the decision, which was actually Jerry and Steven, to move on, they taking it out on the guy that's just really trying to, lay it all on the line for our city and for our team. It's crazy.
And what hurt that too, and brought about just to touch on that real quick before we move on, is if you remember when he finally got to come in and get that one drive where he just like flew downfield like it was absolute nothing and scored like it was this. That was what was left in everybody's mind. So that just like fueled the whole flame of it all, because they're like, "Wow, did you see Romo just come in like it was nothing, to him?" But
but that's Romo history though. Like Romo intelligence is second to none. Like, there are certain minds that are close to genius, right? Or genius. Like Romo's genius, bro. Yeah, like genius. Romo mind is crazy good, bro. So he go catch a defense off guard. Yeah. Think about it. When was Romo's best drives? The first one. When Romo would go out there on the first drive almost every time and bang, 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 bang. And then defense say, okay, we got to catch up to him. You know what I mean? Because nobody mentally was better than Romo, Peyton Manning, LeBron James. Some people brains, that's Romo. So he gonna know exactly what to do on the first drive. Romo finished bad a lot of times.
And then you think about that game too. He got to sit there and watch the whole game develop. He was watching with the whole game. He's seen the holes. He's sitting on the sideline. Wait till they let me in. Wait till they let me in. I know exactly what I'm going to do.
But you said it right. Romo was sitting there like, oh, please let me in this one. Oh, Lord. They gonna go vanilla on me. And then this is the worst part. It's vanilla, and these are still my guys. I still know how to throw the Dez. I still know how to throw the Terrence Williams. These are still my guys. So it was like taking candy. And remember, Philly wasn't out there really, trying to do anything because their season was over. You know what I mean? So they out there with that old vanilla defense, unmotivated. They're not going to the playoffs. So of course Romo was go ice them. He was gonna come in and kill them. But you're right. I think it left that false evidence that all you got to do is throw Romo in a big game and he's gonna no. It's difference between playing a broken Philly with a rookie quarterback that had a horrible season. Wentz at his first year had a horrible season. Then going against a super hot ass Aaron Rodgers. That's totally different. That's a whole different war. That's a different war. You know what I mean? Because Rodgers during that time was on a 7-game winning streak of magic. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's the false expectations that got set up. I think you're right on that drive.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the comments. We got a couple of people with questions about this tackle talk. So let me highlight a couple of people. First off, we got Anthony Kozar. Thank you for joining us tonight. I won't read the whole thing, but basically he's asking about that tackle that we got from Mexico.
Isaac. Yeah, Isaac.
And he wants to know if he thinks he'll be a possible replacement for Tyron. Now, for me, international players have a tough time catching on in the league. So it's going to be an uphill battle for him to even make the roster this year.
Yeah.
And if you look at we got guys like Terrence Steele, who, if they make the team, if they don't, they're on the practice squad. Guys like Mitch Hyde. The practice squad may fill up, but I think we get an exemption for international players, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I thought I seen something about that.
Okay.
I have to look into that, but I think you're right. I think there is an exemption.
If we get an exemption, he'll be around for a year or two, but
yeah, they'll give him a chance to develop, see what he's got
this year. So and plus we got to see him. He may look good in Mexico football. That ain't the NFL. That ain't the college level. So let's hold off on him being the next Tyron before we move forward with that. Boss, you got anything to add?
And it's a lot of talk about replacing Tyron, and it's so premature. Like, see, and I'm gonna be honest, all our great Cowboys suffer from this. Every one of them. Like, people literally think Zeke fell off because he ran for 1,400 yards. And he was only top 2 in total yards. Only McCaffrey was better than him in total yards. It's people really believing that Zeke fell off and he 26. Like, they believe that.
And then at the same time, you'll hear him talk about an 1,100-yard running back like he's the GOAT or something.
Right. Yeah. It's like, and then we mad at we mad at Tank because he only had 6 sacks, even though he was super disruptive in the running game. Like, he was overall our best defensive lineman. He just didn't.
You had to worry about too.
And also, I'm gonna say this too. Quinn stole his sacks, like for real. Like it was either Quinn or Tank was getting ready to get them sacks. It's only one quarterback, and Quinn was just beating them to it. But he was always right there when Quinn got that sack.
Tank was rushing the quarterback to Quinn's side. I mean,
yeah, exactly. So Tyron is suffering from the same thought, which is you're no longer the absolute top tackle. So to Cowboy fans, you ain't shit, and they start trying to replace you, and we start coming up with these crazy ass theories. Listen, a top three tackle is still the shit at left tackle. Like a top 3 tackle is super, and then getting rid of Tyron Smith is the dumbest thought in the world, especially if you look at what we're paying him, bro. Like if you look at what he's being paid based on what he's giving back, he's right now like a medium salary with top 3 play. Like hell no. Like I ain't thinking about getting rid of no Tyron Smith until 4 years from now. Like absolutely. Like it's gonna be 4 years from now. He's gonna have to be the top 10 tackle before I even give it thought. Now, in terms of Isaac, it's hard to grade Isaac. Mm-hmm. He could be better than Tyron Smith for all we know. He could be better, but it's almost like grading a Division II football player. You can't unless you put them in the Senior Bowl with equal talent. I watched the games. I watched Isaac. I scouted him. I looked at him. I was like, okay, let's see what he got. And then I saw the competition. I'm like, I can't see what he got. I just can't, because the competition was so minor, So we not gonna know what Isaac is until Isaac put on the pass with the men, right? With the real big boys. Yeah. And then we go see what he is. Like, cause see, football is the great equalizer. I don't give a damn where you drafted. It's what you do when you get on that field. Brandon Knight showed that last year. Like nobody thought Brandon Knight was gonna be the starter against the Jets. Did y'all think that? I didn't. But his scrappiness was the great equalizer. We was all thinking the Clemson kid. Oh, he won the national championship. He gave up no sacks. He just ran a bad 40. He's the future of the tackle. No, he was not. It was Brandon Knight, because it was the great equalizer. When they put them fat pads on, it was, I don't give a damn what about Clemson and national championships. Brandon Knight is out here scrapping, and he won a job. Yeah. So, but you can't grade Isaac though, not on the tape that's out on him. You just can't. It's like if you say that your eyes are that good at evaluating talent, then you lying, because he was basically going against middle school talent.
Yeah.
I need to see him against, you got NFL, man. You got guys that's 300 pounds running 4.7. You got some straight up, athletes, stuff this is unheard of. And you got to see him up against some of them guys, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah, and he might, like, it's stupid to count anybody out. Like, you can't, like, and he loves the game. He talks with a lot of pride, and we just got to let it play out. Like, nobody thought Romo was going to rise to the greatness that he rose to from 100. But we got to be patient with some of these guys. Some of these guys going to need to develop. I'm excited about Terrence Steele developing. I'm excited about Isaac developing. Mm-hmm. I'm not stupid enough to think they're gonna be ready in 2020, but I think 2-3 years of off seasons and all that kind of stuff, maybe one of these guys gonna be our future, and might be right on time. And I'm not throwing away that thought. I think it's a good question by Anthony Kozar. It could be right when Tyron Smith, no, not now, but yeah, you're right, not now, but like as Tyron Smith really, really, truly begins to decline, maybe 3 years from now, then some people might be looking at Ozzy like, shit, like this dude over here is Romo Esch for tackle. I mean, he's a bohemian, man. He's a big dude, but we go see.
Yeah. Now, Mendoza came right behind them with a good question, kind of what we've been talking about. Follow up to that. Mendoza asked, do we think Isaac or Steele can push for a backup job from Knight or Irvin? Now, I know how you feel about that, boss.
I'll just give
Neither one of them will be good replacements for Irvin. Irvin is the best replacement, in my opinion, right now, because he has the most experience. He's a Marshals, and y'all know how I feel about Marshals. And historical, we all see what Marshals have done in Dallas with the Dallas bump. So right now, the best to me is Irvin, but I think next year Terrence Steele, Isaac should be in the running for the future swing. As we just kind of maybe move on from Cameron, because we like to go cheap, and we love to go cheap. Like, we, instead of paying a free agent, Steven is gonna always go with the younger guys if he can, because it's how we build our cap space. It's genius. Like, Steven is genius for that. So I think eventually, but not in 2020.
Right. I agree. So
yeah, I agree too.
I know you like Steele. Do you think he can take one of those 53-man spots from Knight this year with a decent count?
It's gonna be hard.
Okay.
Uh, it's gonna be real hard, because I really do feel like Brandon Knight is a super scrapper, and it's almost like, as a coach, it's hard for you to kind of walk away from a guy that you know you'll get in a foxhole with. You know what I mean? So unless Steele comes in with that exact same nastiness, it's gonna be hard to take out a year two Brandon Knight. Steele is just somebody that I hope is stashed.
Yeah.
Almost like our corner was last year, who I'm still looking forward to, Chris Westry.
Yeah, Westry.
Yeah.
You got
Yeah,
speed.
Yeah, the speed, the height, and I actually saw him in one-on-ones and was extra impressed. And I'm very critical of corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw him at practice multiple times going against Randall Cobb, and Cobb couldn't get off the line. And I was sitting there with my friend Ronnie Braxton, who's a professional trainer who trained those guys. And we both play. He played safety at U of H. I played corner, and we both looked at each other and say, "Bro, you see that? Like that? Am I tripping? Like, did you see him not let him off the line of scrimmage and to a corner? That's like better than a pancake. You know what I mean? Honestly, like, because see, they got the whole field to work with, and when I can leave you in one spot and dominate you to that degree." So I'm looking forward to Chris Westry. So I'm hoping that we stash Steele away. I wouldn't like Steele in 2020 after what Anad did to him. I wouldn't trust it. Now, if he comes in and he has a Eric Williams, because Eric Williams, people might not remember this, but Eric Williams was an undrafted free agent.
Mm-hmm.
But
He was nasty.
But when he got his chance, and I saw some of Eric Williams, a little bit of it in Steele. I did. I saw it. He's mean. I'm telling y'all. And see, Eric Williams was a mean ass tackle, man. Like, mean. So, but it's gonna be a hard fight. I think training camp, that's gonna probably be the most interesting fight, is that battle between Brandon Knight and Steele and Isaac. That's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, and like you said, with the new coaching staff, everything's open, man. Everything's open.
It's open.
So you come in with the right attitude. They're gonna be looking for guys like that. They're gonna see who's gonna step up, who's gonna put that 180% effort in.
Yeah, and I think these guys like athletes too. That's why I'm kind of leaning on Steele, because look what they did at the corner. They went all athletes. They didn't go with the guys who played. They went with, we want you 6'1" and up, because we feel like we can coach you into the other side. And I had a coach when I was at University of Houston. His name was Coach Henderson. He ended up coaching with the Buffalo Bills. And he had the same philosophy. He wanted number big corners, and if he made an exception, you had to be a dog, like a real dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, and I saw it though, and I knew why. Because it was like, he was a great teacher. So if you was an athlete, he could teach you how to play corner. Like, he could really teach you. Like, he knew corner like I've never, ever experienced. Like, we knew from the personnel what the route was going to be. He would throw up 11 to us. You know what I mean? He would do that to us, so we knew what to do. You know what I mean? He just throw up 11, he'll throw up the defense we getting ready to run, and we would say, yeah, based on 11, they likely getting ready to run a post, or this guy over here in trips, he go run a he could run a slant, he could run a dig. Like he knew it to that degree, and he knew how to coach us up on technique. So I think they brought in teachers. I think they brought in guys to say, okay, we'll take the athletes and we go teach them the rest. So that's why I think Brandon Knight might fall out.
Okay. We got one more question on tackle, and then we'll move on to kind of our odd man out. And if we got a little bit more time, we'll talk a little bit about tight end because it's kind of extended offensive line. So Jeff put this question in about do we think Connor Williams could steal that swing tackle position?
Hell no.
Short and sweet, huh?
It's a dream. Like people like it because he played tackle at Texas and he was a great finisher at Texas. He has a great
balls.
Yeah, I mean he
Texas.
Yeah, and he had some great finishing plays. He's and that's why I still like Connor Williams because he's a nasty dude. He's nasty too. Like he's a mean ass dude too. You know what I'm saying? It's just that we waiting on him to get his pro legs. That's all we waiting on because he got the mentality, but no, he's an inside player in the league. He's and I know Dallas tried it. You know what I mean? And I watched the coaches and I watched the press conferences when they asked about it. They said, "How was Connor Williams at tackle today?" And when Jason Garrett was like,
next question.
And then they moved him right back to guard. I say, nah, that means he got his ass kicked. You know what I mean? You know, so it's only so many people, in my opinion, that can actually play both. And he's somebody that he need to settle in at guard and don't even look at him at tackle with those old nubble arms. You know, I think he no, just no.
All right, so now that we got the starters and the backups taken care of, we'll kind of talk about the odd men out. I didn't put Isaac or Terrence Steele in here because those are kind of undrafted guys. So I want to kind of keep this with guys who were on the team from last year. So Lambo, we'll let you go first. Talk about your odd men out.
I don't know, man. Like, basically, they were my odd men out just because when I look at the talent of the other guys on the team, it was just the guys that was left over to me. I like the potential of Brandon Knight. The rest of the guys to me are pretty much just a shoe-in, especially with some of the guaranteed money some of them got. So obviously, I don't think they was going anywhere. Brandon Knight, he's hungry. And then if we want Brandon Knight, it was going to be Terrence Steele to me just because of, like Marcus said, the potential he's got. And these guys kind of just guys that I didn't think, could push either one of them out. So it was just really easy for me to kind of count them as my odd men out.
Okay. All right. So now, boss, I'll talk about Connor Williams. So for me,
you got him out.
Let me get there. I like Mitch Hyde. He has great technique, but that's about it. But he's not going to make this team. I think we can sneak him on the practice squad. He can get a little bit more strength. Maybe he could be a player of the year or two. Adam Redmond is a journeyman. He came in, served his purpose. If we had a pull cord in case of emergency, he would have been there to play guard or center. But that was about all he was. We've updated both those positions. And if he can get on the practice squad, we may keep him around, maybe not. Now, this is why I say this about Connor Williams. Everybody forgets he tore his ACL in November on Thanksgiving. He had his surgery 3 weeks later. If this was a normal ACL, that's 6 to 9 months. So that puts him back anywhere between June to September. He lost a month or two with COVID. So if we assume we put his recovery back, that pushes him back another month. So he might not even be ready for football until mid-September. And I tried to find some information. This is why I put him here, because I was kind of struggling with, will he be ready? Won't he be ready? I tried to do some research. I can't find anybody talk about Connor Williams anywhere. Boss, if you got some different information, I'm more than willing to hear it. But nobody gave a sound bite or a quote about Connor Williams.
Yeah, I was looking earlier and I couldn't find nothing, man.
This is the only quote I could find, and this came directly from Connor Williams in March. Connor Williams, March 27, said, I'm 13 weeks out from surgery. It's going well. I'm starting field work, and I plan to be able to play the first game of the season. That's what we're shooting for. Now, to me, kind of like the whole Van Der Esch thing. When you talk about a player and the first words you hear are, "Well, it's not career threatening." That scared me with Van Der Esch. Like, why would you say that? Same thing with Connor Williams. If you're not telling me my goal is to be ready for training camp, my goal is ready for preseason. He says my goal is to be ready for the start of the season. That tells me he won't be ready in time to compete for that spot. Now I could be wrong. I'm willing to hear your input on that.
I would definitely agree with you if it was about maybe 8 to 10 years ago,
Okay.
because ACLs and the science of ACLs is astronomically better now. You know, it used to be a time where ACL injuries almost with some positions was the end of your career, right?
Right.
You
Exactly.
remember what happened. You remember what happened to what's my cha cha man name
Oh, you
from
talking
the New
about
York?
Cruz from the
Yeah,
Giants.
Victor Cruz. He had the ACL and he didn't come back. You know, but now with modern science and the way that I don't know what they doing now, but it's magical. I remember guys having ACL injuries in college, and it was almost like they never was the same. Now you see guys like Watson that have an ACL surgery, and you look like he never had a damn surgery. You know what I mean? The rehabilitation and the science and the surgery is so good now, and he's tough as shit, bro. The fact that he even played on a ACL 3 days after the other surgery, and they had to take him out the game.
Yeah.
He's mentally tough. You know what I'm saying? Like I think but I think he's so tough that he's selfish. You know,
Okay.
it's certain tough that's even dumb. Like I knew it was a problem when he was 3 days after surgery, and he was like, "I'm ready to go."
Mm-hmm.
I said, bro, it's 3 days after surgery. I said, Dallas, y'all shouldn't even put him out there, because people like that would hurt themselves because they know you don't want to give nobody an opportunity. They know that because sometimes you can be like Romo, to where dad got his opportunity and he never left, and they know that. So the best way to prevent that is to keep playing. But he did that to me, which was a detriment to the team. Uh, I think your timeline is good though, like about 9 months. You know what I mean? And I think he took so long to have that surgery because I think he wanted to try to be available for the team, which is to me still selfish. Like, bro, go ahead and have a surgery. We got you on contract. Just get well, bro. We need you. You know what I mean? And I don't think he's gonna be the odd man out because of where he was drafted. You know what I mean? I think.
I got him pup list 6 weeks. I got him on the pup list.
Say that again.
I got him on the pup week for 6 weeks. I didn't cut him.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because you had him on the odd man out. I was confused. Okay.
But he was the odd man out because he won't be on the 53. He'll be pup list.
Okay. I think it's a real good thought, because you talking about timing of healing, right? And the way that guards and linemen have to play, their quads are exponentially important to their knees, right? So you need the off-season time to build quad strength to be able to support an ACL. So he's going to be interesting. And if it is September or first game, that's the only thing that'll help him is COVID, right? Because if you allow these guys to get good film, bro, you're not seeing the field. If you let McGovern go out there and do his thing, and McGovern ass hungry. McGovern was saying last year I want to start. McGovern is hungry, bro. You know what I mean? And none of the guys go want to give it up, bro. Like, and it's gonna be a good battle. And I think Brian Broaddus raised a really, really, really good point when he said that, which is true, because football is political. I don't care what nobody say. When you lose the coaching staff, you also lose your sponsors. You lose the coaches who beat the table for you. You lose the guys who was going to continue to give you chances to develop. And these new guys are more so going to be more loyal to the guys they brought in, and they're going to be only loyal to the guys that are the best because they have no skin in the game in terms of their judgment. Because I always say this, and just watch this in life.
Mm-hmm.
Always go where people bet on you. Never go where people betting against you. You know, because what happens to me, and it happens in our politics, right, is people try to make themselves look right a lot. You know what I mean? So if they bet on you, they go give you a bunch of chances to appear that they was right about you, you know. But if they bet against you, they go also play politics to make it also seem like they was right about you. So Connor Williams lost that guy. He lost that I bet on him guy with that new coaching staff was washed out. So it's really might be too late. You know what I mean? So God would have to be stinking it up if he really think it's going to be about being ready by week 1, because he didn't put up enough tape to be anointed
Right.
to say you automatically, like if Zach Martin had an ACL, or if Fredericks came back, even if Tyler was balling his ass off, you know what we would say? Well, somebody finna move the guard, right? Because we giving Fredericks that job back, right? If Zach Martin hurt his ACL, we would all be like, okay, whenever he's back, he gets the job. Or don't play with me. I don't care what you're doing in preseason. But Connor Williams didn't have that type of tape.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. I'll put him on pup list the first 6 weeks.
Yeah.
By the time he gets back, somebody will probably be established. He probably won't get that.
Yeah. There's so much depth that they can afford to put him on pup because all the depth we have, and everybody can play that position and hold the line. So
yeah, I think the depth is gonna go hurt him.
What comments up there?
And before we jump to tight end in here in a little bit, I was going to say too, one thing I'm also really excited about that we ain't talked much about is Joe Philbin, the addition of Joe Philbin. Like when we was talking with RJ Ochoa about him a few weeks ago, I think it was, and just talking about his time with the Packers under McCarthy when he was the offensive coordinator, and he had spent 5 years as the offensive coordinator there, and in those 5 years they finished in the top 10 of both points scored and yards gained, which includes 2010 when they won the Super Bowl and 2011 when they scored the most points in the league and finished 15-1. So I'm excited to see too, with the talent we already have, what Joe Philbin is going to do with those men. So real excited about that.
Yeah, I mean, I think offensive line is gonna be okay. I think it's gonna work itself out. I mean, I think we talked about pretty much the best position group still on the team. Like the only thing that rival this position group is receiver. That's it. Like the receivers are the only group that can rival our offensive line. Like, you know, so I think it's gonna work itself out. I said this. I was just joking. But I'm kind of not joking. Dak go throw for about 6,000 yards.
I was
like, and I'm telling y'all, I do mean this part though. Dak is gonna throw for about 5,000 yards. I mean that too, because we got a West Coast offense that's geared to quarterback and his decision making. You don't have an offensive coordinator that's not freed up now. He's freed up to do what he always likes to do, and that's a run of offense through 11 personnel, meaning 3 receivers. And you have a coach in Coach McCarthy who's a true quarterback whisperer. Right. You know, it's and you got an offensive line to me that's built to protect Dak. I think our offense is going to be hellified this year. And I think the only problem is I think dumb fans are going to say Zeke is trash because we might only see like 1,100 yards, but it's going to be a good 1,100. But I think most of the offense is going to be ran through Dak, you know, and it's going to be good, and it's going to make dumb people think that Zeke not the same. It's like it's only one ball. And we're going to have a dominant style. And I think our style is going to be throwing it. Because I always said this, in my opinion, the offense opened up for everybody when we came out throwing. You know, it's like it put teams off balance. To me, that's what my eyes said. when we led it through Dak, the offense just looked like you couldn't stop us because it was just like Dak distributed it too well. You can't focus on one person. If you try to focus on Cobb, Jarwin will eat your ass alive. You know what I mean?
I'm excited about that this year.
Yeah, I mean,
Jarwin, finally.
We slide
Dak distributed it so well, and then all of a sudden you start worrying about him airing it out and getting it to everybody. Then Zeke start pounding you. Like it's so, and I think McCarthy is gonna do what works. He's gonna say, okay, if this working,
let's do it.
Air it out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He not gonna come in a stubborn like Garrett and be like, we're running this offense through 2-1.
And I think we could have 3,000-yard receivers, and I got little heat for that when I said that. But not only do I think we could have 3,000-yard receivers, I think Blake Bell could break slightly in the top 5 in receiving yards for a tight end. And did I say Blake
Bell?
Oh hell no, not Blake Bell. My bad. Yeah, Blake Bell might get. I give him 14 catches, maybe. No, might not even that 11. But no, like you look at I'm like, why couldn't 3 receivers get 1,000 yards receiving? Last year, Cobb was not that far off from 1,000 yards. And you think about how many balls he dropped, he possibly could have broke 1,000 yards last year.
Yeah, he was about 3 drops away from 1,000, I would say.
You take what Witten did and Jarwin did and smash it together, and they would have broke top 4 in receiving yards for a tight end. Not to say that Jarwin will get every single reception in the tight end field, but I don't really think Blake Bell is going to take much off his plate.
Hey, Bob.
And technically, Dak had 3,000-yard receivers.
Yeah.
Like Cobb had over 4 touchdowns and over 250 yards taken away on penalties, and most of them was on Williams.
That's true. Yeah.
Those was plays that was executed. We not even counting the drops, right? Yeah. So if Cobb just caught his damn balls, right?
Exactly. You got 3,000-yard receiver there.
You have 3. So he technically already did 3. So for anybody to troll you saying that it's not gonna happen because they're hating on Dak, it's just
very
dumb.
possible. It's very possible.
And then think about the games that we put Dak throwing away. Like it's so many, like the Saints game, like we came out the first 3 games, we were chunking. And it made sense to do it because you didn't want to just throw Zeke out there and make him dominant without having the training camp. I get that. But it was working. So why did you stop? Right? Because remember when we lost the Saints game, everybody was like, that offense wasn't what we was doing the first. It was no motions. It was run on first down, run on second down, a manageable third down, slow ass drives, a low scoring game. We didn't come out airing it out like we was doing the first 3 games. I just don't think McCarthy go do that. I think McCarthy is going to say we putting this on the quarterback.
Yeah.
Hey,
boss, putting this on our quarterback. And what I hope McCarthy does, which I'm super excited for, I pray that this time we get to see Zeke catching. And I ain't just talking about no damn fades and flare routes. You know what I'm saying?
I want to see Pollard catch
and wheel routes. I'm talking about letting Zeke get out in space, you know what I mean, to where you have designed leak out passes to where, he look like he's going to block, and then all of a sudden you dump it off to him, and you using them where you actually, instead of trying to pound him on first down to try to get 5 yards, you use him as an outlet. Right. I don't care if he has 1,400 yards rushing. I'm more so interested in his total yards and his production. And I think McCarthy is historically, especially with a West Coast, them running backs catching. And I always said this, man. If Zeke played for the Dallas Cowboys before he was drafted, he would have not been a top 5 pick. You know why? They would have not called him a 3-down back because Dallas gave no fucking evidence that he was a 3-down back because they just pounded with him. You know what I mean? But Ohio State featured that he was a true 3-down back. That's why it was no doubt. It was no doubt when people drafted him that he could do it all. You know what I mean? So I think McCarthy is going to unleash a different style of Zeke. Like even when they was working with David Robinson in this offseason, you know what David Robinson said? He said, damn, I ain't know Zeke had it like that. in terms of running routes.
Yeah, he's had it.
You know what I mean? Now, this is a receiver coach that coaches these guys in Dallas, and he working out with Zeke, and he say, I didn't expect this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, nobody even in the league understands how good of a receiver Zeke is. They
don't
understand it.
You got to go back and look at Ohio State tape to see Zeke receive it. You know what I mean? We saw him catch the big bomb in Detroit. We saw the big fade catch in Green Bay, but it's way more to Zeke game than just that. Like, put Zeke in space. And I always say this: what is really Zeke's biggest plays?
The screen passes.
Yep.
Give him space. Give him space and let him go.
When you get him in space. When you get Zeke in space, that's when he going for 60. Everybody like, I haven't seen Zeke break. He doesn't break anymore. Stop looking at just the damn run. Look at what he does when you design it for him to get in space. And then you ask, he pushes the pile on linebackers and defensive linemen. You mean to tell me put him in spaces against nickelbacks, corners, and safeties?
Be running through.
They scared to touch him. What did Slay say? Slay say, who's the dude that you would rather not face? He says Zeke. And I didn't get it until I saw Zeke in real life at SportsCon, and I saw how big his head is, bro.
He's got a big head.
Boy, that boy Zeke head about fill up my arms.
See, he got big biceps. He got big biceps, but then you look at the picture from the side and see it big compared to his biceps.
Do y'all remember how he picked up Dak? He just picked up Dak and put him in that kittle,
As soon as you talked about Zeke running through people, the first thing that came to my mind is when that really set in place in my mind who Zeke was, and that was preseason when he seen Cam Chancellor and said, "Okay, just boom, straight out." Cam Chancellor guy was like, "What the?"
Yeah.
But and then he did it
need to stop the Pollard can replace Zeke talk. They two different style of backs. They two like with Zeke, people, I'm gonna say it like this: people don't value the game of inches. If your running back hit a pile and consistently move it a yard or 3, that is exponential in football. And Pollard can't do that. Yep. Let's just be real. If Pollard hit a pile, that pile not moving. But when Zeke hit a pile, just watch the pile. Just go watch any game and watch what happened when there's nothing there and Zeke just force it. When he just got to push it. He pushes the damn pile at least 1 to 3 yards. That is epic, bro. So a no game becomes 2nd and 7.
I like the Thunder and Lightning.
A 2nd and 3 becomes a 3rd and 1. Bro, that is epic to the game of football. Yep. So it's like we so ready to replace some of our best. It just get on my nerves. It'd be bro, stop looking for Zeke to be this home run hitter and value him for what he is. He's a punisher. He's a guy that I promise you defenses don't want to see.
Yeah.
I like him to wear people down.
They don't want to feel that. Like Zeke the type of dude, and I'm almost finished preaching on Zeke. Zeke the type of dude that have defense like, damn, I'm sore the next day. Like, I'm sore, man. I'm sore.
See, I like
Zeke. Yeah. I went through Zeke last night. I need to get him some ice.
You're right about that.
I like him to wear him down, and then I like to bring in Pollard with his quickness and speed and let him just kill these guys that's sitting there huffing.
Yeah. Yeah. When they huffing and puffing,
throw them in there.
And they was that's how you use Pollard. And to me, West Coast pointed this out really good. He pulled out some good tape on this. I saw this, but it was better when he pulled out the tape on this. The same thing with Pollard. If you watch Pollard at Dallas and you watch it in Memphis, you'll think they were two different guys. Because they was using Pollard at Memphis more, trickery. They was doing more horizontal. They was spreading the field with him. They was doing more jet sweeps and stuff like that with him, and they was getting it quick to him in space. Dallas was using him off tackle. Yeah, they was really trying to use him like Zeke. It's like, bro, it worked because Pollard is such a great athlete. Yeah. But man, like Pollard to me should be used.
That's not sustainable.
Better. And it's not sustainable. Thank you. It's not sustainable for his build. Perfectly said.
All right, boss, you got a few minutes to talk tight ends. I know we when
bro. We talk football all day,
Yeah, I was
bro.
gonna say, boss will talk all night about
All
football.
right,
Man, say, listen, bro. Listen, they have to kick me out of barbershops. Whenever I go to the barbershop, bro, I'll be in there 2 hours. I do this everywhere I go, bro.
all right.
So we can talk about the whole roster.
Dang,
We
I
got
need
2 questions in the
AC in this
comments,
room.
and we
What'd you
better
say?
bring it back when we finish up because we still got to go through not tight ends, linebackers, and running backs another week. So
Yeah.
let's go through
Like
tight
I
ends.
say, man, just hit me up and I'm always ready to talk ball, brother.
All right. So first question from Jeff: do we roll with what we got, or do we bring in a veteran? Now, before you answer, I don't have a little pretty graphic for this one, so I just go through all the names. Everybody knows Blake Jarwin. Everybody knows we signed Blake Bell. Dalton Schultz is still here, with no matter what you feel about him or not. Then we got 3 other guys. We got Cole Hikatini from last year. He was on practice squad from Louisville. And then we signed 2 undrafted free agents, Sean McKeon from Michigan, and
Yep.
I'm gonna try the last name.
He's the
Charlie.
blocker, right? McKinnon's the blocker.
He is
McKinnon.
the blocker, yeah.
No,
Charlie
he
P.
bulked.
Portland State.
He's bulked. Well,
McKeon.
go ahead.
Okay. So those are our 6 guys. Do you think? First of all, how many tight ends do you think we keep on this team? Because I think we only go 3.
3.
Yeah.
3. Okay. So
Yeah,
would you agree that
and go
Jordan
ahead.
guaranteed.
Oh, Jordan guaranteed.
And the
Oh,
other
Absolutely.
Look, I'm gonna tell y'all right now.
Blake Bell. You think he's guaranteed too?
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Okay. So
Guaranteed.
we talk about one spot then.
Yep. We talking about one spot.
About Schultz.
Schultz. And
So
anybody that know me,
of the 4 guys I named, the 3 young guys and Schultz, you go ahead and talk, boss. Who you like out of those 4, if any of them?
I mean, from the film that I saw, I like Sean and I like Charlie, undrafted free agents, because both of them have pretty good fluid hips. You know, they look like kind of like Jarwin was coming out, where Jarwin came on slow and he was allowed to blossom. You know, he didn't get treatment that other tight ends got on this team. They let him develop. I think they should do the same thing with Sean, and I think they should do the same thing with Charlie, where you bring them on slow and you build their confidence and give them kind of easy catches and stuff like that. Because I actually talk with Swam, right? And you know, I met him at SportsCon, and you know, I'm gonna hit you up, and I talk with him, like, and I'm always try to get the truth out of you, right? Yeah. So I go to him, I say, hey man, because it was 2017. Remember, Swam was balling. Right. He was outpacing with numbers, you know what I mean, like old numbers, until he got injured, right? Yeah. Like Swam was doing his thing. You're like, damn, right? But earlier, Swam was like a chump, right? And I told him straight up, I say, man, what happened with you, man? Because Dak first preseason game versus the LA Rams, he would have had a perfect passing rating, and he would have been perfect on completion if it wasn't for your 2 damn drops. I said it just like that. He started laughing, right? I said, but then 2017, damn old Super Swam showed up. What the hell happened to you, man? Right? Yeah. And he told me straight up, bro, it was the realest thing I ever heard talking to a professional player. He said, boss, he said, man, it's in our head, man. He said, everybody not gamers like Dak and Zeke. You know, he said the rest of us got to develop. He said it was in my head. He said I had to learn just through a couple of catches that I belonged. And once I felt like I belonged, that's when you saw 2017. I said, okay. You know, I say, I mean, it's called developing, right? So it makes sense. And so it's with a lot of us, it's our expectations that be wrong, right? That's why I said Steele is the guy I want to put away. I want Chris Westry to be the guys that's put away, and you let them come along. Don't expect the Zekes and Daks and the Pollards. Those types don't come around. that often. The you mostly get the churches, right? And the Romos, you get the ones that really and the Cole Beasleys, they develop into that. So I think the same thing with Sean and Charlie, because to be honest, Dan Schultz, I never thought he had it. Never. Like, I got in a lot of debates over him. And even when we drafted him, I hated it. And because they passed up on some of my pet cats that I see still balling in the league right now, like Saron Neal at Buffalo. Like, everybody crying about safety. We already had a safety, but we passed him for Schultz,
right?
You know, and Schultz, when you got more penalties than you got catches,
that's not good.
Yeah, and then and when I would scout the tape on Schultz, all I ever saw was people making plays on him, like Jalen, and even when LVE was young, bruh, LVE built his confidence making plays on Dan, you know. So I'm out on him. Like, it's like at some point I just say it's just too big of a gap for you to make that reach. You know what I mean? Like, some guys, you could see the potential in Jarwin, but he was acting like he was, to me at first, like Swam, tentative, entitled, right? But what really helped Jarwin was when they benched him.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember when they benched him. They benched him after the Panthers game. I don't know if y'all remember, but he had those alligator arms. Dak laid out a pretty lob to him. I mean, perfect on a run, just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Jarwin pulled the alligator arms, we call it, where you do this.
Like,
right. He did sell out for it. He you know, and dropped it.
Yeah,
just alligator arms. We call it those short arms where you scared to go get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dallas benched him for it. They started Schultz the next week versus the Redskins, right?
I do remember.
And Schultz didn't do anything. But then, like good coaches supposed to do, and they didn't do Rico like this, but they did Jarwin like this. They worked him back in there. You know, build his confidence, like, we gonna give you another chance. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And he came back different. He came back hungry. He wasn't acting like he was entitled. Because what happens when people see favoritism on all levels, they start smelling themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think that's what was happening to Jarwin. But when they benched him, he was like, I gotta earn it.
Right.
And then when he started playing like he had to earn it, that's when he emerged. Right. Yeah. So I would want to see the same treatment with Sean and Charlie in replacement of Schultz, because I think athletically they're better. And I think they're going to develop better. And I think I saw enough. I saw absolutely enough with Schultz. It's enough. I don't want to see it anymore. I think he's always been a wasted pick. And I just think these other guys are going to come in better. Just period.
Let me tell you about Schultz. I think the team fell for the same trap I kind of fell for when he first came in. You look at the history of Stanford. We talk about Wisconsin being O-line youth. Stanford was tight end youth for about 3 years.
Facts.
Mm-hmm. And you see Dalton Schultz is the next in line. And he's got the height and he's got the weight. But people don't remember he got ran out of town in Stanford. I can't remember the kid's name. He just got drafted this year or last year. But he came in to Stanford and they put Schultz at H-back and was like, you just blocking now because this is a real type. You're not getting more chances. But he came out early. We took the bait and they just kept giving them chances. And the only thing I can see is he's a Stanford kid. You're looking at in your own division. You got Ertz. Maybe we can pull the next Ertz out of him. Hopefully they figure out that ain't the case and we move on. So hopefully we see that a little bit more of that this year.
Yeah, he also lost his sponsor. He lost his cheerleader, which is good, thank God.
Yes.
But also it's another element to that too, Marcus.
Yeah.
The other element is, remember the day before the draft, Witten retired.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that really put him in a panic.
So
you see Stanford, you see a traditional tight end school.
Right. So
grade right there.
You go from great due diligence to rushing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You go from, and Will McClay said their board is pretty much done in December, but nobody was expecting Witten to retire. Nobody. when he retired too. It was, and they know there are certain position of need. As long as Witten was sitting there, they wasn't looking at tight end as a need. So we all know this from doing our own draft homework. Whenever you feel like a position is not a need, just be honest. You don't study for it as much. You don't. Yeah. Like I look at guard, but when Zach Martin is, and I look at center, but when they sitting there, I'm not gonna go all the way to round 7 trying to find my center. I'm probably stop around round 4 grade guys. You know what I mean? Because we got our guys. Damn it, I'm not gonna keep looking. We know we good. I'm not looking too deep at receiver when I know we now have what we have with CD and what we got with Cooper, right? So I think Dallas got caught off guard with him, and I think you're right when you add the fact that Witten just retired and you got this school that's so-called known for tight end right. Just like Alabama is DBU, right? Is you can guess instead of knowing. And I think our scouting room got caught. And I think it was a different philosophy of drafting then, because remember under McCarthy said, man, don't be out here trying to fill a position, man. Just get the player. If that philosophy was sitting here when Schultz was drafted, we wouldn't have drafted him because Saron Neal was clearly a better player. Yeah. So was Dan, right? Dan out of Arizona, a 6'2", 4'3" safety that played at Arizona, nickel, safety, and corner, all well, who's currently sitting at Tennessee Titans right now, stashed under great safeties. You know what I mean? So with Dallas, he would have came in and would have been the man. But when you playing for Tennessee, that's like playing behind Zach Martin, bro. Like you can be loony, but nobody gonna know you good because of who's in front of you. So it was the drafting philosophy then as well. It was good. That's why we reached so damn much. Like, and I think Tristan Hill gonna be a good player. But I always said, what the hell was wrong with us passing up on DK Metcalf? If you go look at me doing the draft, because we were still doing the draft show then too, bro, I lost my mind, bro, because nobody could tell me that he was not the best player sitting there at 58. You was there? Yeah. Bro, I went crazy. Boss, you need to calm down. You need to calm down. Like, bro, this was not no this was not no BPA. I don't want to hear about the best player according to need. No, it's either best player or need. Is no in between. And there's no way you pass up on DK or Thornhill for Tristan Hill. Not saying Tristan Hill is gonna be a bad player, because I think he gonna develop into a damn good player. I think a lot of people sleeping on him and gonna be wrong as shit.
I hope I'm wrong, man. I really do, because I want to.
No, I think you're gonna be wrong, bro. And I'm gonna tell you why.
I hope so. I really do.
Go watch the film when he played during the season. Now, if you go watch the preseason, you'll be right, because he was getting pushed around in preseason. Yeah. But when he played during the season, they gave him his limited snaps. Bruh, he was diagnosing screens really good. He was taking on doubles. He was shedding blocks. I was watching him like,
well, I hope he's got chip on his shoulder.
That's a young Tristan too. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, that's a youngster doing all of that. Hey, so, like, when he get about 2 years in, like, now he gonna be all right. But he still is never gonna be the caliber of talent that DK was. You know what I mean?
Don't watch him
and put it like this. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Before week 3, go ahead.
And see, like, and I'm gonna tell you another player that people sleeping on.
Who you got?
And I heard this from the horse's mouth.
Is it Dorrance Armstrong?
Oh, I was.
They sleeping on him too.
Okay. Yeah,
I think this could be a good
year 3. It's his year. It's his year.
Yeah, it's year 3. Yeah, I think year 3 is the magic year for defensive end and deep tackles.
Exactly.
Who was the guy?
I definitely agree with that, Brandon.
I'm trying to think what his guy is before he said it, but I was like, is it a linebacker?
I'm letting y'all guess.
Gifford.
I thought it was him.
Gifford? No.
Gifford, yeah. Gifford, if he can stay healthy, hell yeah.
I like
Gifford. Yeah. But I'm concerned about his health.
Donovan Wilson is a gimme. That's kind of
Donovan Wilson. I like that man too.
I don't think it's
Donovan Wilson.
No, it ain't.
Y'all smoking crack. No, Donovan Wilson too. Yeah, that's a good sleeper pick. Hold on. John Vay.
Okay, yeah, you threw me off the
John Vay, bro.
To get the hands
like
down,
if he can just catch, bro. Yeah. I just have a feeling he went through the Jerry Rice year one. Because remember, Jerry Rice was booed his year one for his epic ass drops. Yeah. Nobody knew after year one that Jerry Rice was going to be known for the best hands ever. John Vay, if you go watch the preseasons again, had the clearest separation out of all the receivers, bro. Every time he dropped the ball, he had about 2 or 3 yards of separation. A lot of his catches would have been touchdowns if he just caught it. They would have been runaway touchdowns, bro. And I was at a practice in Dallas, and lo and behold, I see Michael Jackson. I'm like, damn, that's Mike, right? So nobody knowing who he is, but I'm a Dallas guy like y'all. So I'm like, oh, that's Mike shit. That's
Miami Hurricane, y'all. Right? By the way,
yeah, exactly. You're a Miami guy. That's what's up. So we got to talking after the practice, and I was, I'm always trying to listen for true intel. And unbiased, I say, who does receiver people sleeping on? I ain't bait him. I didn't try to hint to it. I just said, who the receiver people? Because I was trying to see if he was going to say what I was thinking, right? He said, by far, John Vay. He said, matter of fact, if John Vay would have just caught the balls, we never would have drafted CeeDee Lamb.
Wow.
He said he that good.
Wow.
The speed is there. Just get the hands down.
Yeah, so like, and nobody talking about him. He got the speed. He got the routes. His separation looked like Cooper, except he was dropping. That's the only thing. He was just dropping it, and it was like, oh. So we got Devin Smith, and we got him. We like, if Dak don't throw for over 5,000 this year, bro, something happened epically bad. Like, we had to lose our tackles. The whole offensive line gonna get COVID. Like, it's gonna be something crazy like that for Dak not to throw for 5,000 yards this year, bro. Because them boys is set up all the way from Devin, John Vay, obviously our number 1 pick this year, bro. Like Gallup. Oh my God, bro. Like offense go win us games this year, bro. Like, it's clear. And I can't wait to see John Vay. Boys is sleeping on him, bro. I promise you that.
Boss, we're gonna do a full recap on wide receivers in about a week or two. So let's hold that talk, give them something else to think about when we get there. Now, back to the tight end question. You said you like Sean McKeon and Charlie T.
Yeah.
Do you think we keep one of those as a third tight end or bring in a veteran?
I haven't looked at the free agent market in a minute, since I wrote the book. The tight ends that was already very thin in free agency anyway to me. Like, tight end, this was a bad free agent group.
Yeah.
This year. Like,
I see Kobe Parkinson and Jeff. I saw you put somebody
I'd rather stick
Delaney Walker. Kobe Parkinson are 2 people listed in the comments, I guess, that they like as tight ends.
I think we stick with our young guys. I think it's risky, but if I'm one of those undrafted free agents, I'm chopping at the bit because the number 2 and number 3 is wide open. The number 2 and number 3 tight end can literally be taken. If any one of those tight ends come in and they really ball like they trying to take a job, they can actually get that job. It's no more politics because it's so obvious that Jason Garrett was the key cornerstone for the width and duration, right? Because I always said this. I said, we're not going to get serious about safety until Heath is gone, because you could tell that Heath was a favorite to Jason Garrett. And, people used to say, oh, boss Cowboy, you been a conspiracy theorist. It's like, nah, bro, listen, man, we've all experienced politics. You experienced in corporate America. It's certain people that are the good old boys and the favorites. It's just how it is. This life is like that, man. You know what I mean? And it was real obvious. Even Georgia Local said, and he said it on his podcast, he said he saw it coming in that Heath was anointed. And he said even Kayvon Frazier really didn't give us a real chance. Because think about it. Like, it doesn't make sense for Woods to not even play safety and Kayvon playing good safety.
Yes.
He was playing good safety. And then all of a sudden they just leapfrog him.
Right.
No, like what was the competition in that? Like it was too much under the Jason Garrett era. We call it predetermined rosters. Like
Yeah.
Bill Parcells said this to the media one time, and I love Bill Parcells for this.
Great quotes.
Somebody asked the question, "Who's going to start between them?" He say, "I don't know." He say, "So what y'all think what you think we do off season for nothing? You think we do training camp just for just the bullshit? Like no, like we really are evaluating these guys. I wouldn't know by the time we get to at least week 3 of preseason. But I'm not telling you who the starters is starters are without letting these guys compete. And so under this era, it's going to be better competition, I believe. I think McCarthy, except for the round 7 pick, that scared me about him because I said, oh, damn. You know what I mean? Hopefully he don't got that good old boy in him. You know what I mean? Where it's really about the best man winning. If it's about the best man winning, that tight end going to be very interesting because tight end and linebacker is the most riskiest positions, in my opinion, on the entire team.
Yeah.
It is.
Risky. If we lose Jarwin, we in trouble.
Yeah.
But
if Jarwin hurt, we're in trouble. And that might be why we carry 4.
There are some veterans out there. If that does occur, as long as these guys don't get signed by the time, if he does go down. But I know there's Jordan Reed's out there, which he probably be hurt. He'd probably be hurt before he even signed with anybody. Delaney Walker, Vernon Davis, Ed Dixon, Jeff Swaim's back out there too. So that's possible. But
I would take all of them over over Schultz.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, over Schultz. I like one thing.
Reed too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would spin the tires on him. You never know, man.
Yeah, because he would be a Marshalls. Any of those former greats. I don't care if they old. I don't care if you old as dirt. Like because you know who been pulling off that strategy successfully and quietly for years. New England.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
New England is the best at picking Marshalls, and nobody watched it. Nobody see it. Everybody be running away from a player because they got in trouble in New England and be like, oh, okay, that just mean they're a deal, and they'll go get them. Mm-hmm. And they've been doing it for years. They've been building their rosters off of troubled Marshalls players for years. Yeah. And they just do it quietly. And Philly started doing it lately. Like Philly's good at it too. Philly won their whole Super Bowl off of Marshalls picks.
Philly ain't got a choice. They up against the salary cap every year.
Yeah, but think about it. Like who was the key players in that Super Bowl?
Oh, they not
all they free agents. And the free agents, every one of those free agents were troubled. Yeah. Like Jeffries, he was the number 1 free agent receiver. But he also just was coming off that that steroid thing, right? Ajayi was called a cancer at Miami. What did he do? Killed it in that Super Bowl. Blunt. He got in trouble for blunts, right? Foles was called, and I really mean that his violation was marijuana. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he was considered troubled, but he was a former great, right? Yeah. And then Foles. Everybody still be trashing Foles, but nothing about Foles has ever been trash. Yep. Never been trash. But once you get a certain type of reputation in the league, a lot of people don't like to get off those reputations. You know what I mean? So you have to. That's why they treating Dak the way they treating Dak, because he was a 4th rounder. So many people bet against him. It's that same philosophy that it's gonna take a lot for them to say, "Okay, I was wrong." And they even did Brady like that. Brady was called a game manager until Super Bowl 3. Right. Then they finally started just calling him a quarterback. Yeah. They didn't start even thinking about calling him GOAT until after the 5th Super Bowl. So when you come from people betting on you, you got to do a lot to get in the graces and back in the graces of public popularity.
All right, boss. We pushing 2 hours, so we're gonna take one more question from the comments, and then we'll shut it down. This last question is from Rob Jarman. I don't recognize the name, so Rob, thank you for joining us tonight. Last question: do you trade for OJ Howard?
Hell yeah!
Or Tyler Eifert?
You say yeah, I'll say no.
No on Tyler Eifert.
Oh, definitely no.
No, but for OJ, dog.
I had.
Here's my thing. RJ, like we touched with RJ Ochoa. Here's my only thing about bringing in a talent like OJ. So I love Howard. I would love to bring him in. I think he's a talented dude. I think he would help us. But I think Jarwin is going to be really special. We just ain't seen it completely yet. We ain't seen him have all the snaps yet. The thing is, when they bring in someone with his talent, then what are they going to start doing? They're going to start wanting to find a way to get two tight ends on the field at the same time. So who are you taking off the field? Look at all those top three receivers we got. I ain't trying to take none of them off the field. I want one tight end.
All right, let's talk about this.
Let me say something first.
I want to talk about this. I even took off my glasses for this, bro.
For me,
give me one tight end on the field.
We need a second receiving tight end because Blake Bell ain't that. So when you have Blake
Jarwin,
you know what you're getting. When when Jarwin comes off the field, you have no more receiving threat from the tight end spot. So you bring a guy like Howard in, then when you switch out and he gets that 30-40% of the snaps, the whole game the defense doesn't know what they're doing with tight end. It's always a receiving threat there. So I say it's worth it.
I will say you take tight end from a risk to one of the best tight end duos in the league instantly.
Bell's going to give you special teams, so we're going to get special teams from the tight end position anyway. That's other people's concern. We need somebody to play special teams. That's what Bell's for. All right,
damn, that's a good question. Damn, good question, Rob.
8 catches last year,
but close us out, Rob.
You can't catch with
Listen, man,
either, though.
I did not spend all this damn time talking about Marshalls to then say pass up on OJ. OJ would be a super deal. I would give up a third or a fourth for him, bro. And yes, I know his numbers are garbage in Tampa, but see, sometimes your numbers are garbage because of your quarterback.
I was gonna say the quarterback,
and that's not saying that Wentz a bad quarterback. Not Winston.
Yeah,
like if you a receiver in Philly, you hate Wentz. Why? He targets tight ends.
Oh my god! And then the fans like say, "Oh, we don't got receivers." No, you just don't throw the receivers.
You don't throw the receivers like all people got to do. I know you've done it, Brandon. And I know you've done it, Marcus. Yeah. I've done it. Just go look at the targets per weapon. Wentz is throwing to tight ends and running backs over 74% of the time. Mm-hmm. That is literally ultimate dink and dunk. And guess what? I am not even mad at him for doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's moving the chains and it works. So I'm never gonna knock something that works.
Yeah.
But if you play receiver for Philly because of the quarterback tendencies,
just don't draft them in fantasy. No Philly receivers.
Yeah.
Don't draft no fantasy receivers for Philly. You gonna be mad as hell. I don't care about all the speed they just drafted. You just drafted a bunch of speed for nothing because it doesn't fit the style of your quarterback. And I'm just being honest. If you look at Jameis, what is Jameis? He's Romo on steroids. He's a gunslinger. He loved to throw downfield. His favorite weapons was what? Receivers. And he was boom. So if you OJ, you like, damn. You know what I mean? And listen, nobody watched OJ coming out and didn't swear he was a super solid first rounder, bro. 4.5 speed, not just destroyed the Super Bowl, turned it on its head, bro. Like, bro, and can block. He is complete. He is really just on the wrong team.
Right.
He is on and put him with Dak. Put OJ Howard with Dak, man. And then this, with all the weapons we have, we go put up points. Eventually, you got to go with 12 personnel to close our games. What's a better 12 than Jarwin with OJ? That's still a passing threat. So when the game is late and you trying to close it out and you walk out there and you got those linebackers trying to defend Jarwin and OJ on 3rd and 3, I want that. You know what I mean? I want that the whole way downfield where we in bully bowl mode. Because I hear you, Brandon. Eventually, yes, we got to take some guys off the field. But guess what? Sometimes it's going to be the receivers we take off the field. If we up by 14 points, we going to say, let's milk the clock. We going to go through Zeke right now. Let's pound these guys. If you got OJ with Jarwin, You able to pound. You like, yes, let's pound. And when it's a passing situation, it's an automatic mismatch.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I would do it right now. And this is the best time to do it. Why? We getting ready to have a bunch of comp picks in 2021.
Yeah.
We're going to have some good-ass comp picks. You can give away one for a former first and a great Marshalls at a young age. That's going to be super cheap.
Yeah.
Man, hell yeah.
And if you got that much talent on offense, thinking about this, like the fact that people can come in and out, you're getting fresh legs on offense, and the defense still got the same people out there covering everybody. They got the same secondary. And you taking Lamb out for a couple plays. Oh, you bringing Lamb back in fresh on a guy that's been playing every snap on defense, killing them.
That's so pick your poison, bro. You sitting out there with OJ, Lamb, Gallup, Cobb, bro. Somebody's gonna lose on that defense. You can't guard all that. Yeah. You just can't. And then,
I was trying to talk to people in these chats, and I was saying he's not replacing Jarwin. He's another complementary piece. That's all he is. Now you were talking.
And if he replaced Jarwin, good. I mean, you're gonna have to play damn good to replace Jarwin. If he replaced Jarwin, he did live up to his first round standing, and I want that. But you honestly not gonna replace Jarwin because Jarwin is basically a receiver playing tight end. Like Jarwin is dangerous as hell, but like Jarwin is one of the best yak guys, hands down. You're not replacing him. It's gonna be a true compliment. It's gonna be a better 12 than Philly, and like Philly 12 personnel. Oh my God, bro! Dallas Goedert and Ertz, bro. I want that for Dak. Ooh, Dak with that.
We got a Philly fan in the chat too, so.
I'm ignoring that.
Jarwin, he had what was it? The 3 touchdown game was against Philly, right?
Was
it Giants? Damn, you're right. There's a Giant. I know it was at the end of the season.
Nah, man. Listen, my boy Rob said I knew how to get balls going. Yeah, bro. When you talk about Marshall's picks, hell yeah, I believe in it, bro. Like I'm dead serious about that. And guess who else believe in it? Dallas.
Well, you know who was the Marshall pick?
Yeah, all our free agents was Marshalls.
How about Clinton Dix?
Marshalls.
Yeah.
McCoy, Poe, former greats. Hell yeah. Dude, Dallas believe in it now. I used to say Dallas putting their toe in it. Now Dallas doing deep dives in it. If they did OJ Howard, that would be a deep dive and would work. Yep. It would work. Like it's too much history in performance bumps when former greats come to Dallas. Hell yeah, I would do it. You getting a former first for a third rounder?
You're right. I like
fourth. You mess around and get him for a fifth rounder. They mess around and give him away and be dumb, like they did Quinn. These dummies gave us Quinn for a 6th rounder. You know they regretted it, bro. You know they regretted it. But we was looking at it like that's a Marshalls, and they don't know what they got. He go come here and he's gonna do way more than he ever did in Miami. Well, he didn't do ever, but that was a damn good year. And that's the same thing you'll definitely get out of OJ. You'll get a performance bump, bro, from OJ. A tight end that big with blocking ability, receiving ability, good hips, and can block and run a 4.5. Hell yeah, man.
Speaking of comps, freaking Clowney had came out and said that he had Cowboys and Saints on top of his list and wants a 1-year prove-it deal.
Who?
Clowney. I know he was wanting a lot, but he said he wanted a 1-year prove-it deal, and Cowboys and Saints are top of his list. So I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad at a 1-year deal, letting him blow up a little bit outside.
Me neither, bro.
D-Law will save him too, just like you did Quinn, and get that comp pick.
Preach. I get lazy when it comes to Marshalls, bro. Sometimes I don't even do enough research. I'd be like, oh, they're a former great, get them. No, I really do my research, but at the same time, I really believe in it because it's proven, bro. Jonathan Cooper, Cobb, Quinn, Ha Dix go ball, Pogo ball. Like everybody that we get that was Quinn, everybody that we get that was a former great. Devin Smith, he was in the grave. He was looking like he was almost out the league.
I'm hoping.
I don't know why the hell we put him on the shelf.
I'm wanting him to get wide forward this year.
Why the hell did we? That's that Garrett shit, bro. That's that Garrett. I like this guy. I favor this guy. Yeah, Garrett, and then I didn't understand that until I watched the documentary on his dad, bro. Anybody just go look at the Cowboys.com. They got a documentary on Jim Jones, and you will understand why Garrett had that good old boy ass philosophy. It was so many Dallas Cowboys that played for the Cowboys strictly on just a relationship to Garrett and the Garretts, including Jim. And think about it. Garrett got his opportunity because of who? His dad, bruh. So that's their worldview. That's their philosophy because they prospered under that. So to them, they're just giving back as they was giving back too. Now, some of us live by earning philosophy to where the best man really got to win in some of our world. We are not the favorites in some people's world. You know what I mean? So we got to go get it. You know what I'm saying? And so I like that environment because to me, the cream truly do rise to the top when you got these favorites and picks. Sometimes you Jordan Lewis people to where Jordan Lewis was clearly the better player than Anthony Brown, but because Anthony Brown was obviously somebody's favorite, they kept giving him chance after chance after chance when the best guy was sitting right there the whole time making plays, and y'all kept treating him like he was trash, you know? So yeah, that Jim Jones documentary will show you like literally Gary got his job because he went to Turner and said, "Hey, can you take a look at my son?" They wasn't looking at Jason Garrett. Now, Jason Garrett ended up being a good backup quarterback, too. I'm not taking away from how he played. He played good.
Yeah.
But you got your chance based on who you knew. It wasn't based on what you've done for Princeton. It was who you knew. You know what I'm saying? So then he's now the operator of the organization, and he has that same good old boy ass thinking because it was blessed his life. So if he picked out a couple of people that he said, I like this guy, I really see something in this guy, he put everything in it to make himself look right. Yeah. And that's why we kept seeing like I remember Brian Brody said, he said, hey man, I'm gonna be honest. He said it straight up. He said, I'm gonna be honest. Rico was having a better camp than Schultz. But Rico not gonna make it because these guys in the front office have picked Dan. He said it straight up. I was like, damn,
I loved Rico, man. I thought he was incredible. The talent.
He was on the wrong end of the bet.
Yeah.
Like I always call it, Brandon, please tell me you saw Trading Places. With Eddie Murphy, please tell me you saw with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy, the movie Trading Places. Okay, you got to watch the movie.
It's a classic movie.
Okay,
did you say Dan Aykroyd?
It's classic, bro. It's classic. See what happened is they made a bet that they could take a poor man, put him in Wall Street, and he will become successful. And they said they could take a rich man and put him in the ghetto, and he will become ghetto, right? And they bet $1. Like it's a classic movie because then once they get around to it, they say $1, Mortimer. That's how I used to imagine the Dallas Cowboys with Jason Garrett. It's like if they bet on you, bro, you got ample opportunity. But if they get bet against you, because you could see it in certain players, like in Lewis, you could tell they bet against him. You could see it with Rico. Yeah, you could see it with Schultz and not Schultz. Swam. You know what Swam told me? He told me to the face. He said, boss, they used to try to tell me to be like, can you imagine somebody saying this? Do it like Witten.
That's what ran Bennett out.
Yeah. Like notice Bennett looked trash under us. And then when he left, all pro. He was always that.
Yep.
He was always that. But when Witten is the anointed guy,
yeah.
And he get to say when I'm getting out the game and all of that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And they talk about it with pride, like it's cool. Like they literally said this. Stephen Jones said this publicly. He said this publicly. They asked him, they said, are y'all gonna draft a tight end this year? And Whitten was sitting right behind Stephen. And Stephen said, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This guy right here will be in my office. Every time we draft a tight end, he always comes up there and says it's a wasted pick. We're not betting against him. Bruh, like Steven, I know that seemed like it's cute.
Or they scared
but can you stop for 1 second and think about what it felt like to be the guy that's not Witten? That where basically you just told the whole world that whenever we draft a guy, that this guy has the authority to go up there and say this guy's not going to do anything even before he stepped foot on the grass. Is that good for morale to know that every time I walk in this building, this guy over here is betting against me and talking about me to management.
Right.
Yeah, I know it seemed cute when you said it with him behind you, but what about the guys that gotta play? And if that guy gets hurt, now Witt never got hurt to his greatness, right? But if it did, what did you just do to the morale of those guys when you told them that this guy talked behind every one of y'all back coming in? You know what I'm saying? So this new era of coaching, I don't want to see any of that. Yeah. I hope we don't see that. And I'm afraid that we might, because of what happened in round 7. Because nobody can tell me what the tight end need with Mouse sitting right there and Sullivan sitting right there. Bro, those are dream steal picks. That this would have been, the draft was already 100, but it would have been 140 if we walked away with any of those guys in round 7 over DiNucci. DiNucci made no sense even over Rush, because at least with Rush, you saw some preseason games where literally he had the highest preseason games and passing rating in history when he played.
Honestly, I would have been stoked. If we got Moss in the 5th, I was going to be happy. And then in the 6th, I was like, okay, Moss, here it is. They can't pass on here. And then in the 7th, I was like, okay, there ain't no way they're passing on Moss here. And then I was like, okay, undrafted, they're going to hit him up. And then he signed to Redskins. I was like, come on.
Blame him for that.
Yeah, bro, we could have had, and I honestly feel like I think Sullivan gonna be a better player than Moss.
I agree 100%.
I think he gonna be a better player, bro. That he's the future type tight end, that 6'6" X receiver type.
Yep.
And he went to the right place. He went to Seattle, bro. They gonna use him, bro.
Yeah, they are.
They gonna use him, and then everybody gonna look back and say, damn, they talked about that on the show. I'm just like, hell yeah, we talked about that, dog. We passed on that. Just like I'm still mad we passed up on DK. I'm super mad we passed up on Sullivan, and I'm mad we passed up on Moss over DiNucci. DiNucci better ball his ass off when I see him. I better be like, I was wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if I see some bullshit, excuse me, and I'm gonna be like, and Moss over there doing this thing at the Redskins, I'm gonna be like,
I did see some highlight. It was this throw with nobody in his face, of course, no defenses, but he got a beautiful release. I will say that, but I need to see him playing DiNucci. He had a really nice release on the ball. He was sitting there and doing some workouts, man. He was just flinging it.
Yeah, he got swag.
But I need to see
like
defenses.
The problem with DiNucci to me is this: grading him is like grading Isaac, the Hispanic tackle that we picked up.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The competition, like, like, how do I really grade you based on that tape?
Yeah, you're right.
Like, when you get to that level, I'd rather bet on the guys that honestly played in the biggest games, right?
Yeah.
Like Moss and them just came out of national championship, and Moss didn't drop a ball the whole season, bro. Now you got a team with the most drops. Wouldn't it help you to bring in a guy with a coach and not dropping nothing?
It makes too much sense, boss.
When your rookie come in and holding the vets accountable to catching everything, that improves your team. You know what I mean? When a rookie like, bam, you vets drop every fucking thing, bro. And he out here, everything that come to him, he mousing like his dad. He just
The only reason I let him play
on that, bro.
Like,
and so like, I like McCarthy, but anybody that know Boss Cowboy, I'm never gonna be no bopper for nobody. Yeah. I'm gonna try to call it like I see it. I'm gonna really try to call ball and strikes. I was loving the draft, loving it up to round 7, and I said
that's the only way. I was
loving the draft. I was like, I was crying, bro. Snot bubbles coming out my nose. I was like, everybody, like, bro, you couldn't do this on a simulator. Like, if they drafted on the simulator the picks that they did, you know what everybody would say? This is a dumbass draft, because they would have said this ain't gonna happen. Everybody would have said there is no way you go get Diggs in the second round. That's a fake draft.
I mocked him in the second round one time, and everybody was clowning me. They're like, Diggs in the
second. They clowned you, yeah. Dude, you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're doing. I thought it was never gonna get drafted that low. Yeah, he got drafted that low. Matter of fact, I said this, and I really do believe this. Our first 4 picks was our first round picks, really.
Yeah.
I would not have been surprised if they was. Honestly, I agree. And that's the only reason I let the DiNucci thing go, because the fact that everything else was so perfect. I was like,
man, don't let nothing go, man. This is a game of inches. You don't let nothing go.
Wrong,
You don't let. We might need that tight end, bro. You know, we got to keep the pressure on them when they do dumb shit, bro. That's our job, bro. Like we got a public voice, but we got to hammer them and be like, I remember when y'all did that Danucci stuff. Don't do that in 2021. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, bro, like, and I'm watching now. If Danucci come out and he just a monster, I will also humble myself openly and say I was wrong. Yeah. I was wrong. But I promise you, if Moss over there at the Redskins doing his thing and Sullivan start acting up in Seattle, and I see that 6'6" tight end making plays, and I said some people last year was gonna do that I felt like we should have got, like Preston Williams from the same school as Gallup, who had better production but bigger, 6'4", and we passed on that, bruh. Ooh, it's like some of them is like,
right. They built us up for 6 rounds. That's why they built you up. They were like, oh, it can't get better. It can't get better. It can't get better. It can't. And you're like, here's Moss to end it or somebody like that, you know. And then bam, they just drop it up. Like, there they are. Damn it.
Yeah. All right, boss. I know you.
All right, man.
Yeah, I pray. Over 2 hours. Pray no wife I get to bed.
Now, guys.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm enjoying, man. Y'all know better to bring me on, bro. I'm telling you, man. We'll go through the whole roster, bro. Trust me. So anyway, yeah, man. We'll do this again, man. I really enjoyed it, man. Thank y'all for inviting me out, and thank all the guests, man. Y'all asked real good questions. I also got a cash app too. It's Dallas Boss. See, they ain't even put my cash up there. See, that's how y'all do y'all guys.
Hey, man. Don't feel bad. Ain't one person from the show donated to our cash app yet out of every show.
Okay, so so before we go challenge everybody. We gonna start with that. Like, listen, man. When balls is listen. Before we went on, I'm gonna be honest. You know, I'm gonna tell you. Oh my Lord, no, y'all can't do us like that. Listen. This is a true story. Before we get out of here, this is exactly what happened when I got on to do the prep with these guys. Because we prep before the show too. We don't just come on winging it. Like I got all kind of notes ready to discuss football for my guys, right, and for you guys, right. I got super notes that I spent 2 hours preparing, right? My boy Marcus said the moment we got on, he said, boss, I had no idea how hard podcasting is, bro. That's the first thing he said. I said, yeah. I said, it's real, ain't it, bro? Like, I had no idea myself until I got into it. Like, it's when you going out here and you talking football stuff, like the Cowboy fans are the smartest fans on the planet. Like everybody's gauging everything we say. So you got to support us, man. Like even if it's $1, man, put something in these guys' cash apps, man. I'm gonna be honest, man. Like you gotta support us because it's because the real truth is coming from the underground. I say this on every show I do. Whether it's Big Game James, whether it's with my boy Wes, whether it's with Law, whether it's with all of them. When you want to hear the like, let me ask you a question. Why do you think all the big names are starting to come down here?
Definitely.
Why do you think they frequently go on our shows? Because this is where you can just say what you want to say without fear of repercussions. But if you don't incentivize my boys and put a little bit in their pocket for putting on the shows and talking about, we talked about the undrafted free agents all the way down to Isaac. You ain't getting that nowhere, man. You know what I mean? And my boy said this. He said, slow down, boss. We gonna talk about all of that in the future. Right. So, meaning we gonna do more homework and come right back with more stuff. Bro, you gotta support that some kind of way. And I ain't trying to make y'all feel guilty. But damn it, I am. Like you know, these guys not putting cash apps up there for nothing. Like, just, you know, help us all. You know what I mean? Because then what's gonna happen is you go see him upgrade. You go see us get invited out to more stuff. You go see some of us underground even make the switch to the actual, you know, checks and stuff like that. Still zero, man. They go do it. They do it for me. They go do it for you, man. They go in my cash app, man. They help me. They go do it for you though, man. See, I think y'all being too nice. You gotta kind of challenge them a little bit. You gotta say, hey, man, y'all gave us $1 up in here.
Me and Marcus are very passive when it comes to it. Very passive. We're very passive.
Yeah, man. We're only 5 weeks in too, boss.
Yeah.
Say, listen, hey, but I'm gonna tell y'all the truth too. I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. I tell them this on every show. Like, listen, like you gotta support us. See, cause listen, when you see the upgrades that's happening on Loud Show, that's because they supporting them. When you see the upgrades that's happening on West Coast, that's because they supporting them. Somebody, you know what somebody did for me, bro? They bought me a mic and a soundboard. All of it cost about $700. You know what I'm saying? But they support. So I'm challenging the people that's listening to support, because then you go see the upgrades. You getting ready to see a major upgrade on Boss Cowboy Sports. It's gonna be major. You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of stuff coming out. You know what I mean? But that's because I've been supported too. People putting it in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? And we helping each other. Like Marcus told me, man, I'm gonna help you with Boss Cowboy Sports. You know. And Brandon called me before and we talked about how to, rebrand Cowboy Y'all and all that kind of stuff. We're a family down here, but the only way we stay together, bro, is y'all got to keep supporting us. And see, because I call it a partnership, and I'm done after this. Because some people feel like because they giving dollars, now your dollars is just as equal as our voice. You know what I mean? Because the more that you do it, the more that you give us incentive to do it. Because eventually Brandon's wife go say, hey man, why you doing that? What is that doing for us? You know what I mean?
You're right.
You know, but when he can say this, baby, let's go out to lunch. You know what I mean? You know, it shut up a lot of my little girlfriends when I showed them my cash up and I was like, okay, 700, let's go. You know what I mean? You know, and but that's what it is. So y'all do the same thing for these guys and damn do it for me right now. It's Dallas Boss at Dallas Boss, but don't do me without doing them first.
Hey, boss, we appreciate that. And
so I'm scared.
Before we go,
no problem, man.
Everybody on social media so they can follow you if they don't already follow you.
Yeah, man. My stuff is simple. My stuff is gonna be everything at Boss Cowboy Sports. So if you go on Facebook, go to Boss Cowboy Sports. My page hasn't been active for about 2 weeks because I've been kind of chilling, but it's getting ready to get really, really ramped up. I got a lot of material I'm getting ready to drop. I got a lot of upgrades I'm getting ready to unleash. I'm getting ready to start writing a bunch of articles again, and putting out content during this COVID period. And then I'm gonna be coming on here. I'm gonna be doing a lot of free agent type of work, I call it, to where I make my rounds to get in front of as many people as possible. Because I love talking Cowboy football. Yeah, it's a real passion for all of us. You know, it's I met Brandon actually at a game.
Yeah, it was dope.
We drank a couple of beers. He let me rock his chain. He got nervous, thought I was gonna keep it. And I'm telling you, man, that chain was so clean, bro. I wanted to keep it from you so bad.
Yeah,
hey man, you gotta bring that chain back to me, brother. That chain was nice.
It is, man.
Yeah, so now we already kicked it. So like when I say we all family, man, we all family. And even some of the people that we argue sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like I had some people that was coming in tonight that I couldn't stand y'all, but I still love y'all because it's DC4L and we all a brotherhood. So I never can hate y'all too much, even when you get on my damn nerves.
Yeah. Lambo, give your social media.
At Cowboys Y'all for everything. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Patreon.
All right. All my stuff, Bluff City Cowboys, located here in Memphis, Tennessee. In future episodes, we're going to bring Boss back. We got to talk linebacker. We got to talk running back. And while we were doing the show, we just got confirmed. We got another special guest coming in. Once we confirm that date, we'll let you guys know. We have our first female host, guest. So she knows her Cowboy stuff. She's going to talk some things as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Cowboy Zone, and we'll catch you guys later.
Beautiful.